A beautiful afternoon in the desert, Scottsdale, Arizona, for the final round of the Waste Management Phoenix Open. TPC Scottsdale set among the beautiful mountains off in the distance. Camelback. You look up above and you see just a beautiful golf course, a few trees to deal with, but the desert is the culprit if that score swells on a player. We get to the par 3 16th. McCarty taking a look at this pin. Cut in a favorable spot, but he catches it on the left side of the green, and that's going to hop into the bunker. He doubled the 13th, and so now trying to bounce back and see if he can improve his lot coming in. The 15th, 7 under. And this is the third on the par 5. So just a short shot into the green after choosing to lay up. So that'll leave a little right to left break. Aaron Wise is at 16. And Wise, 2 bogeys on his card. This group beginning on the back 9. And that's well short. So the hole at the par 3 16th playing 167 today, a little more demanding than what we saw on Saturday's round. 17 for Stewart Cink. Pin cut all the way to the back right. They can take driver. This is all the way to the left, though. And that is over where the green seats are located. The Waste Management seats situated over there. And we'll see what it looks like with the live, but that was just a pull off the tee from Stewart Cink. And these players know there's at least a little bit of a recovery zone if they miss that little canal that comes up the right side. 3-way tie. James Hahn joining Jordan Spieth and Xander Schauffele as he's eyeing the win here on Sunday.
Yesterday at the Waste Management Phoenix Open, Jordan Spieth turned back the clock a few years to his heydays, seemingly knocking in putts from everywhere. His last birdie there at 17 reminding us all of the magic that has been missing for the better part of 3.5 years since his last win. He was tied for the 54-hole lead with Xander Schauffele. They were 3 clear of Scottie Scheffler. They're in that final group, but both of them are at +1. So they have let a lot of possibilities into the mix on this final round as we check out our leaderboard, brought to you by the new Epic drivers from Callaway. There is Spieth and Schauffele, both having lost a shot on the early going. James Hahn has caught them with a 4-under round through the first 8 holes. Louis Oosthuizen just 1 back. Scheffler is 1 under on the day, but again gaining ground because Spieth and Schauffele have not been hitting on all cylinders as we take you out to the 7th and that final group. Jim Bones Mackay with Spieth, Schauffele, and Scheffler. Bones, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dan. A little helpy-hurdy wind on this par 3 today. Schauffele got the hurt, came up short to this point. Very difficult first putt here, up and over a ridge, change of grain. This looks way short, and he's a little out of sorts after a very poor bogey on 6.
Yeah, joined here in our 18th hour with the 87 champion here at TPC Scottsdale, Paul Azinger. There's been some loose shots by that final group as we check in over at the 9th with Justin Leonard.
Thank you, Dan. James Hahn coming from the center of the fairway here at 9. Big false front guards the front left part of this green. That's a good play there, taking a little past the hole, leave himself about 12 feet, putting down the hill.
And back at the 7th, this is Scheffler for birdie to tie for the lead, make it 4 at the top.
Oh my goodness, this has completely got away from him in terms of speed. They're putting away from the valley, but must have gotten in Scheffler's head there.
Gosh, Bones, the wedge shots that these 3 have hit today are really atrocious by their standards. The field staff has tucked a lot of the holes, and I think you got these guys hooked a little bit. They're just afraid to make a short-sided mistake even with their wedges. And yeah, you're right about that bogey for Xander on 6. It has to have undone him a little bit, especially since he had such a great wedge opportunity on 5 as well, Bones.
Absolutely. Well, certainly you step on this 7th tee and you know that 3 is a very good score. Very visually intimidating. It looks from the tee box like the pin's in the bunker. So certainly knock something in the center of the green as Schauffele and Spieth have done. Two-putt and get the heck out of Dodge, but Schauffele did not get the job done speed-wise. We'll see if Jordan went to school on that.
Spieth, after a 61 yesterday, with the most birdies he's ever had in a single round of his career with 10, came out today, bogeyed the first hole, and has somehow played even golf since then. So a chance to get one back, but a long way.
I'd be careful about letting Jordan Spieth get too comfortable. You know, those feelings can come flooding back. Those feelings of what winning is like and what it takes to win.
No one has feel or history of making long putts like Spieth has done. We saw examples of it again yesterday, and he should be able to get that down for a 3 at 7 to stay at 17 under. To the 8th for Louis Oosthuizen. This to get to 17 under as well. Louis working on a 2 under day. That was just earlier, so Oosthuizen is going to stay at 16 under. And so now we're live with Justin Thomas. And if you were with us on our Golf Channel coverage, it is a tough day for the Thomas family. Justin losing his grandfather overnight, Paul Thomas, at the age of 89. It's the father of his father, Mike, who is at every single one of his PGA Tour events. Paul Thomas, a longtime PGA professional who you see there in between Mike on the left and Justin. A big inspiration for Justin growing up. Lifelong club professional, played in the 1960 PGA Championship, an event obviously that his grandson won all those years later. So he has just not been the same, and it's very understandable. Back over at the 7th, Shauffele trying to save par and avoid back-to-back bogeys.
His speed's been off. He's left a lot of putts short, so a lot of pressure on Xander. High expectations, you know, really imposed pressure in some capacity. He just wants it so desperately, and so far, tough start, still kind of nervy, but I think Jordan's relaxed at this point.
Let's go to 17 and bring in David Faraday.
Well, this was a moment ago. Brian Stewart, he's a couple under, and he's got not much of an angle here. He's got to come across the edge of the green like that. That simplifies the 17th every time. That's an eagle for Stewart.
And this is another pressure-packed par for Schauffele. He's made a few good putts today, Zing.
Yes, he has. He made a really good one a couple holes ago. Here's another one, Bones.
Well, he certainly did have the luxury of seeing what this ball did break-wise as it raced past the hole, but it's getting late on Sunday now. It's a big stage for Scotty, especially with the leaders not doing much with it.
And it's the first bogey for Schauffele. It caught up to him a little bit, putting pressure on those long par putts. So the reigning PGA Tour Rookie of the Year, who's playing with 2 other PGA Tour Rookies of the Year, and Spieth and Shauffele, drops one. And he's 2 back as we go back over to the 9th.
And James Hahn here for birdie at the 9th. This for the outright lead. Quick putt, don't have to worry about the pace, just got to get the line right. Exactly what he did.
Oh, wow, he could have early walked that one. That was dead center.
5 under par 30 first 9 for James Hahn. Back to 7.
And Spieth with a little tester here.
Brock Greller in for a little reassurance.
Oh, well, this last group is coming undone.
So both Spieth and Xander Schauffele +2 on the day.
As that blade just stayed open there.
Yep. Hard to imagine, but guys with a 3-shot lead over Schauffele, both +2, and they have let everybody into it, and now James Hahn has passed them by 2 as Hahn is 18 under par as he makes the turn at the Waste Management Phoenix Open.
That's a big move when you see James Hahn come charging up the leaderboard the way he has. And he seemingly is on a mission today to see if he can notch another win He's gone out in 30 with 5 birdies on the front side of the golf course. And one of those players that when he gets hot, he's tough to take down. His best finish here, though, was a T11 back in 2018. So without a top 10, yet he is surging. Michael Kim, 2 under par, as he attacks at 17. He's pointing well to the right. And limited fan attendance, so that actually is a benefit for a player to have a clean lie. And he'll be able to go off that dormant grass and see if he can pitch it on. Bo Hoag for birdie. And missing out. So Hoag, who made a 2-putt birdie at 17, is going to have a 2-putt par here at the last.
So who's it going to be? Hahn suddenly has catapulted himself atop the board by 2 as Spieth steps in at the 8th, 477-yard par 4.
He's got a lot of room to the right. There's 2 big bunkers lurking on the left, waiting to gobble up a hook.
Oh, this is hit really hard up the right center. Looks beautiful from here.
Technically, it will be another missed fairway, but it's another one of those drives and glimpses that we've seen from Spieth, in addition to missing a lot of fairways. So,
That was really about just eliminating the left side on that particular tee shot. He did a good job. Guys like Spieth only can go in a slump if they have a 2-way miss, and that's what he's been battling, but he had a nice one there.
Shauffele now peeling a cut off the fairway bunkers. Good shot.
one of the longest hitters on tour, still looking for that first win. You pull anybody that knows anything about this game, they think it's just a matter of time before Scheffler breaks through. So you got all of these guys out here with their own stories. Hahn hasn't won since the second of his 2 PGA Tour victories 5 years ago. Shauffele, we documented, has been on a 2-year wait.
Yeah, they're all in different stages of their careers and levels of confidence and that whole thing right here, and it's really making for an intriguing finish.
Shauffele ripping a draw, and these caddies will be reminding these players as they play this 8 that this is a golf course where you can make up a lot of ground in a hurry. So much excitement on that back 9. Just hang in there.
Speaking of the back 9, we go to 10. David?
And James Hahn back on the tee, 5 under par today. Leads by 2. And that one down the left, cutting back in, should be just fine. Just dribbles off the fairway, but that's in good shape. Well, there's a pig with a different snout, as my granddad would have said, maybe. James Hahn leads by 2.
Out to the 16th for Max Homa, 8 under par. And this par 3 boisterous on Sundays, really the entire week. Usually we do see fans. It's a 2-tier grandstand area, 2 levels where the fans can be spread out and they can have that little covered area. I'm trying to create a little atmosphere for these players. Players have braced for it over the years, trying to make friends with the fans and handing out souvenirs, and that abruptly is coming to an end this year. Hopefully we'll be back next year. Matt Jones, 3rd at the par 5. And he flights it low, and that is a well-conceived shot there. Knew exactly what he wanted to do, and that worked out nicely. And so Jones is going to see if he can roll that in as he came up on the left side, and he'll have a chance to pick up a birdie from less than 3 feet away. See how long this green is, and when they move that pin back, it's quite a challenge for these players. 62 birdies, though, for the week, so over 5 dozen, and when you compare that, 55 bogeys or worse, right on the number of par. Scottsdale, Arizona, the race is on to hold that top spot outright as we have seen James Hahn zip past The two co-leaders, Jordan Spieth and Xander Schauffele, and those two players right now are 2 over par, and they have slipped back to 16 under. So in this final round, let's hear from our tournament sponsor, Waste Management.
Hi, I'm Jim Fish. Many things look different this year, but one thing remains the same: our commitment to sustainability. As architects behind the largest zero-waste event in the world, WM is always working for a sustainable tomorrow. Every year at this tournament, we demonstrate what's possible and bring that same spirit of innovation and dedication to our customers and our environment. On behalf of our 50,000 team members, thanks and enjoy the golf.
And it's been a great partnership between Waste Management and the Thunderbirds. Now with a partnership that stretches out through 2030. And that par 3 16th looms ahead, limited to about 2,600 spectators with the COVID protocols that everybody's been following. Just 5,000 a day here, but it feels like a lot more as we go back out to 10.
And JT posting this for birdie. And with our 2 at the top, at least in the last group, faltering, there are a whole lot. JT posting in there with a shot.
And here at 9, Justin Thomas, after a perfect drive, just 125 yards. It's going to be one of his 4 wedges. There's room behind it. Oh, beautiful. Took the aggressive play, brought the front, false front into play, but hit it tight to 8.
And Spieth getting ready from just off the fairway. And we'll check it out with our top tracer presented by T-Mobile for Business.
This is a tricky shot, Bones. He's got that low area to the right that wants to avoid.
Well, you said it, Singer. 171 with that flag tucked up against the right edge. I mean, you've got to hit a really good shot here just to hit something to 20 feet.
I just think that's pushing it. You need the right wind, too, you know?
You just want to.
Yeah, I agree.
Just desperately want to go at this flag, don't you, Bones?
You do. This might not be the time to do it. And with the, as we saw yesterday, this guy can make 35 footers, so no need to be too aggressive here. Left of the flag.
Sit down.
That's a nice play from there.
Sure is. Fantastic shot. Just what he needed.
And he is seeing more and more of that consistency. That has won him a FedEx Cup title in 3 of the 4 majors. Back to 10.
And here's the old man, Steve Stricker. Having such a great week. Just another beautiful short iron shot from the U.S. Ryder Cup captain. To 8.
Schauffele set up perfectly, 170.
Go. Go. Go.
Oh, boy. He must have flushed it.
Schauffele coming off back-to-back bogeys as we shift back to 10.
James Hahn. Probably a full strong sand wedge, 120 yards.
He's got to deal with that bunker. Yeah.
And oh man, he got it to spin too. A lovely shot. Back to 8.
And it's Scheffler's turn.
Ball's above his feet. He definitely likes to draw it. Oh, yeah.
He's the best of the lot. Couple of longhorns here in this final group. Spieth and Scheffler. And back over to 10.
Brooks Koepka. Has he pulled that? Just a little. And when you pull it, it's usually long, but I think that's better than he expected it to be.
And we've got all sorts of stories swirling here. I don't know which one to point out, but let's first start with James Hahn, who began the year 14 events left on a medical extension. We'll talk more about the injuries that he's had. He's 39 years old, hasn't won in a while. But Spieth talked about it yesterday, Zing. He said, you know what? I've been in the position a lot with 54-hole leads, but it has been a long time. This day, much different than the previous 3.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, there's nothing like PGA Tour Sundays. It's not like Saturday, that's for sure. And, you know, confidence is something that when you have it, you never think you'll lose it. And when you lose it, you just never think you'll get it back. And that's the roller coaster of emotion that Spieth's going through, and most players really. And it all comes down in the end to self-belief. He wouldn't keep practicing like he does if he didn't believe he could do it. You know, Nicklaus said one time, he said, you got to hit hundreds of shots to get confident, but it only takes one to lose it. So something like that, Jack. But the point is that this is a mental battle today, and it's a self-belief. It's like an invisible battle going on in their heads about self-belief. I can do this, I can do this. And now James Hahn's going through the same thing.
Yeah, both Shauffele and Spieth have let so many guys into it. As we mentioned, Hahn has passed them. Now you got Oosthuizen there. Scheffler looking for his first win. Brooks Koepka has 9 holes left. He is just 4 back. So many possibilities, and with a stretch run here at TPC Scottsdale where anything can happen.
Well, the course is set up much more difficult today. A lot of holes are just 3 from the edge, and the short side misses are going to get you. And I'll tell you what, the field staff locked up Shauffele and Spieth and Scheffler today with some of those hole locations. Simple wedge shots they haven't been able to get within 25 feet.
Here's the leader at the 10th.
And notable guys on there.
Yes, he played a very smart shot behind the hole. Full sand wedge, like you called it, David. Coming down the hill, a little right to left. Very makeable putt, similar to the one he made at 9.
Oh, he had a beautiful putt. Just poured that in. Couldn't have been more elegant.
It's like it never left its line, David.
No,
Jeez.
it didn't. 3-shot lead. All of a sudden, 15 under par in the last 50 holes. It's the 8th.
And Spieth for birdie.
Yeah, and that's another thing, too. We've seen a lot of putts come up short. Jordan and Xander so far today.
To 9.
And Justin Thomas trying to clean up after a beautiful wedge shot. Nothing to that putt. So a nice birdie, playing with a heavy heart.
And back at 8, we've got Austin Diaz in there, his trusty caddy, lining Xander up here, trying to bounce back from a couple of bogeys in a row here.
Somebody needs to take the lid off in this group to get these guys going. Any one of these putts could just flip a switch.
And Paul, just to reference Spieth's miss for birdie here, I think it's very important coming off the short miss at 7 that he doesn't let that get in his head in terms of speed. You know, he can't be afraid as this round progresses to knock something 3 or 4 feet by because he tends to make putts with speed.
Such a great point. And, you know, when you miss a couple little guys, it'll shut you down and you'll find yourself in lag mode.
Kind of in shock mode now. They trail by 3 after Hahn made another one.
Brooks Koepka needs to start making these. Nope. One drifted left on him early. Back at the 8th.
And Scheffler here could nudge a little closer with this birdie.
Fantastic club selection from the fairway to get to this point, and of course got the read from Shauffele coming back up this hill.
You never know when somebody's going to perform out here. Even Scheffler, the rookie of the year, has missed the cut in his last 2 events. There's just too much talent there for him to stay down too long. He curls that in, and Scheffler's got his 2nd birdie of this opening 9 to move to 16 under. So now we've got a log jam all backed up behind James Hahn. Look at all those 1600s, which include K.H. Lee, along with Louis Oosthuizen. Waste Management Phoenix Open. Final round at TPC Scottsdale.
3-shot lead for James Hahn as we get to Matt Jones, 9 under at 16. Jones the birdie at the par 5 15th. And now the Aussie attacking here. That's a good shot. He's going to leave it below the hole. And that will be in the 25-foot range. Up to 17 now. and backs Homa. Homa trying to bring this up the left side, big hop. It's going to stay left, and you can see the trouble. It'll slide right off of that edge, and that is into the penalty area. So that will find the water left, and now back to 16. Russell Knox. Just a 9-iron. Knox. Well, that one's going to hang on the right-hand side, just over the back portion, and that hole pivots away from the players slightly. And now back to 17. Hardy, 8 under par. Nick trying to see if he can lasso a birdie here at the par 4 17th. That'll be just in front. Grayson Murray is at 16. Left side of the tee to a left flag. And all the way to the back of the green, so Murray's going to have a look inside of 20 feet, looking for back-to-back birdies if he can pick them up at 15 and 16. He was 1 under at the turn, then fell to level with a bogey at 10, and now 1 under after that birdie at 15. Our leader is up by 3 shots, so let's head out to the 11th with James Hahn.
Most difficult hole on the golf course all first 3 rounds. 470-yard par 4 11th with the leader Hahn teeing off.
It's a really, really difficult tee shot. The most difficult hole on the course. Bailout right is generally what you would expect here, and it looks like he's going to get a swing, and there could be some trees between him and the hole.
But what a day it's been so far for James Hahn to light it up. Starting out of the gates, this was his second at the par 4 first as he began the day at 13 under, 5 back.
Yeah, this flag just dares you to take a crack at it, and any miss shorter to the right, you will definitely pay a price, but what a beauty to start.
He birdies the first, he birdies the par 5 third, then he gets to the 4th, then he makes another one, so he's got 3 in the first 4 holes to sound the alarm on the final group. He was at 16 under at that point, then he gets to the 8th from 180.
Well, the challenge for Hahn right now, he's hitting all these great shots. He's going to see a leaderboard at some point and realize that this tournament is now his to win or lose. And emotionally, maybe it could be a jolt to his system. We'll just have to see how he deals with it.
So he birdies the 8th, then he comes to the 9th, makes the turn in 5 under 30. And then he just continues with 3 more in a row when he nails this one at the 10th. This is looking a lot, Zing, like the round of 62 that he shot in the final round 8 years ago when he ended up finishing in a tie for 16th. But if he puts another 62 on the board today, that could get James Hahn his 3rd PGA Tour victory.
Well, a good smart bailout there at 11. You just cannot hit it left there on that hole, and he didn't. So he's in pretty good shape over there on the right.
All right, while we have a moment, let's bring in Steve Sands.
All right, Dan, thank you. Sunday at the TPC Scottsdale means 2 things in the world of sports. There's a title on the line here at the Waste Management Phoenix Open, and the Super Bowl will be played later today. So we asked some guys here on the golf course on Wednesday during the Pro-Am what their predictions are for the big game.
You know, I think in the old days, you never bet against Tom Brady, you know, especially with 2 weeks off. But are you kidding me? I mean, it's 2021. We got Patrick Mahomes coming. We're running it back. Chiefs 31-24.
Blown away with what Tom's been able to do. But I think Kansas City's a better team, and I think they're going to win.
I think the Chiefs are going to win because I think they'll steal a possession. I think possessions are going to be so important with these 2 quarterbacks.
I feel like we're going with the Bucks. Heart says Buccaneers, head says Chiefs.
If I had to bet and put money on it, I'd go Chiefs, but I would love to see it be a close game, and I'd love to see Tom Brady get another one.
I'm a little biased with my pick. Coach Arians coached me here in Arizona for 5 seasons. That whole staff was here, and Tom Brady's a close friend, so I'm going with Tampa.
Next year, the Super Bowl will be played at SoFi Stadium, the brand new shiny building in Los Angeles. It'll be the first time the Super Bowl has been played in the LA area since 1993, and it'll be right here on NBC. Can't wait for that, Dan. And by the way, that'll be right in the middle of some amazing runs here from some huge sporting events here on NBC, Dan. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, just looking at the schedule, it is jam-packed. Remember, the Winter Olympics follow the Super Bowl next year on NBC. We still haven't gotten the 2020 Tokyo Olympics in summer out of the way. That's scheduled for this summer. So Sands is right. Looking forward to all of it. This is Oosthuizen at the 10th, David.
And coming out of that thicker stuff, very difficult to keep a handle on the ball. That's going to be a long two-putt there for Oosthuizen. K.H. Lee is down there with John Wood. Johnny?
Yeah, David, he's got 110, pretty decent lie in the rough, and the thing that's going to help him here, he's got an upslope he's hitting off, and it's into the wind a touch. So even though this hole is tucked right over that bunker, I still think he's going to have to play it long, but he should be able to stop it fairly quickly with some height. Heading over, right?
Yeah.
About as good as you could do there, David.
Yeah, difficult to do better than that.
Well, so far, James Hahn has overtaken the leaders with a 6-under round in the final round here in Arizona.
16 under. Jordan Spieth at 9, his second. Now he's along the right side of the fairway coming out of the rough. We've seen quite a few players have to play from the left side. And that one just coming up that slope slightly. So out of the rough, a nice benefit. And Spieth really needs to feel that shot to shot
No wind right now, no.
momentum and see if he can start to get things going again. Tied his career low round with a 61 did Spieth on Saturday, but it's far from that today. 124 for Schauffele. In this final group. And Schauffele just a little left. That comes down the slope, so about the same spot in terms of the fall line for Schauffele to consider, but he's a little further away from the pin.
Just right of it.
Xander, 106. After a drive of 352. And Shauffele. 2 bogeys.
Down. Down.
Well, too much. A little spin, but still away. So the final group working the 9th right now, and those players trying to figure things out as they are closing in on what is an over par front 9 between the 2 leaders. Spieth and Schauffele playing the front 9 4 over collectively after starting the day with a 2-shot lead. Very surprising. Corey Connors 11 under as he's working 16. And that one will spill into the bunker to the left. So not quite what he was hoping for. And now just trying to figure things out as far as where the disconnect came from the pre-shot to the actual shot. Connors in that group along with Sam Burns and Billy Horschel at 16.
Second shot on the way for Steve Stricker at the 11th. Difficult hole, as we've talked about, coming off birdie at the 10th. Long way away for a birdie look, but safely aboard. It's been an incredible week for Steve Stricker, the U.S. Ryder Cup captain, and he was toying with a victory here for a while. The last time a U.S. Ryder Cup captain won a PGA Tour event the same year he captained a team was Arnold Palmer, who was a plane captain in 1963. And you look at what he did at the Phoenix Open for one of his 7 victories that year. It went Arnold Palmer, Gary Player, Jack Nicklaus, the big 3, going 1, 2, 3, and that would be the first of 3 times in their careers that they would stack up 1, 2, 3. So Arnie had a great year and ended up captaining the winning side later on that season. Back at 11 is Hahn off the mark here, failing out to the right.
But he caught a great break, but did not have a play at the green, so opting to lay up short and see if he can't save par with a good chip and a putt.
Well, we'll see if we're going to experience any leaderboard gravity, which tends to happen when you're caught off guard and all of a sudden you're on top.
Back at the 10th.
Louis Oosthuizen from way back on the back edge of the green here. A few inches more. It's a difficult 2-putt from there to 9.
And Xander Schauffele with a great look at birdie, putting down the hill. He's left a couple putts short so far today. Shouldn't have an issue getting this one to the hole. If anything, might move just a touch to his left, Bones.
No question about it. This last group here waking up a little bit, and 3 great looks at birdie here, but brought in Austin Kaiser for the looks, as you say. Runs out of steam, loses it left towards the valley.
Well, he's talked about the need to be patient, and the patience pays off here at 9. Okay, so maybe that's the impetus to get something going for Xander Schauffele.
Well, he needed something good to happen, guys, and couldn't have picked a better time than right here at the 9th. He did it here the other day on Friday. And went crazy on the back 9. Scheffler took the lid off on the last hole with his birdie there at 8.
And a little tougher putt here for Scotty Scheffler, working across the slope.
I really agree with that, Justin. I think both the read for Scheffler and Spieth is tougher than the one that Schauffele had. It's just not quite as obvious what the ball does.
I'll tell you what's tougher than that. Saying Spieth, Scheffler, and Shauffele 3 times quickly, and they're in the same group.
Jordan Spieth will get a nice look-see here. Not quite on the exact same line, but the same general vicinity. Good pace there, just lost it to the right as we spoke of. Go to 10.
KH Lee, this for birdie. He'll settle for par, most likely. Over to 11.
And this is the 3rd for James Hahn, who's scrambling here again. Has gone 50 holes without a bogey, Noda.
Zing, this is a scary golf shot here. 45 yards to the hole. Anything going off the green behind the hole will go into the water. So got to be extra cautious.
Not exactly where Fowler hit it in the water a couple years back, but it's the same idea, isn't it?
That's got to put the brakes on.
Gets a little quick back there.
Oh, no.
I think he's going to hang just up.
Well, look, let's face it, you know, the leaderboard gravity is a real thing, and we've seen the leaders plummeting down the board, and now Hahn getting a taste of the lead, and he's going to be struggling to make a par.
Back at 9.
And Jordan Spieth, after a good look, he knows he's got to get this outside left. Oh, and his didn't move.
Looks like he hit it exactly where he wanted, Justin.
I think he did, Dan. So disappointing par for Jordan Spieth. Scotty Scheffler went in and tapped in his putt for par. But James Hahn out in front by 2. The back 9's coming up. We'll be right back.
Two-shot lead for James Hahn, 19 under at the top. Billy Horschel coming out of this greenside bunker. That one passes by quickly at 16. So he will be forced to make about a 7 to 8 footer on the other side to avoid bogey. With a lot of interested parties looking on. Even though it's a bit quieter, the pressure's still there at 16. Another out of the bunker. Corey Connors and Sam Burns in this group. And so those players all trying to manage and make the most of this as they come out of those greenside bunkers, both Horschel and Connors. Burns is going to have a chance to pick up a birdie. Looks like a little bit better position. Those players, you stand at the tee and you can look and see just how deep that flag is at 16, and that can make it a bit more difficult when you just have a wedge in hand and you're playing this amphitheater setting. You can at least have a little more confidence with the shorter club. But when it's cut all the way to the back as it is today, 167 to the pin, bringing that bunker into play, it can be a little unnerving. Par 3 16th, not nearly the atmosphere we're always looking forward to here at TPC Scottsdale, but there's still a limited number of fans that have filled up the stands around 16 to enjoy the festivities and try and create a little extra atmosphere for the players as they come through. Billy Horschel trying to see if he can hang on and scramble for a par save, and Corey Connors, another of the players, he's in a decent spot. Burns with this look now. He'll come across the green. 12 under par right now. Burns played well this past week. Was in contention all the way into the final round and then cooled off. He's missed the cut here each of the first 2 trips to the desert, so he's happy to have made the cut, but now trying to make more of it. And that one's just going to keep moving along on the right side. So Burns will look to clean that up.
Yeah, and Shauffele with the driver, maybe trying to take it across the corner of the bunker on the right-hand side there.
This is pulled left of his line. This needs to sit to catch some fairway.
Oh, no.
That caught some desert and all the way through to the other side.
The worst possible angle, David.
Yes, it is. Just moments ago up at the green. No. Went early. 11.
And Hahn, who just stayed dry but still has a par putt to try and avoid dropping one for the first time in 50 holes.
Yes, ball ended up very near sprinkler, was able to take relief, took a drop, but now it is set right up against the collar there, so it's going to present some issues, Zing, on the backswing just a bit.
Yeah, it's a super, super slow putt. Be surprised if he reaches.
Well, they got it there.
Yeah, that's a decent effort and, you know, a tough hole. So get out of there with your bogey and run on over to the next toughest hole on the golf course this week, the par 3 12.
So everybody moves a step closer to Hahn. Just his second bogey of the week. And back on the tee at 10.
Spieth.
Hit a beautiful cut off the 5th hole today. Needs that same shot here.
There was no cut.
This up the left center. Needs a soft bounce.
Yep. Did okay. Yeah, and it's not a great angle, but you can get some spin on it from there. James Hahn now has a 1-shot lead over Shauffele. Spieth further shot back. They're shaping it up here for a fantastic Sunday afternoon at the Waste Management Phoenix Open.
In this final round, players closing in on that finishing stretch. 8 under is Nick Hardy coming out of the bunker at 18. And that one with the pin cut to the front, just a little bit deeper onto the green, had 117 coming in. And you can really be aggressive with that tee shot and really afford yourself a good opportunity coming into the green. Birdie try at 17. Matt Jones. That one's going to miss on the right side. So he had a look, and from that 15-foot range, not able to get it to line up with the cup. Emiliano Grillo 10 under and his second at 18. And Grillo, this one coming back towards the pin. Had 113 coming in after a nice drive of 322. And we'll get back to the work at 17 for Russell Knox and a birdie. Chance to see if he can get it to 8 under. Breaking, just barely missing the cup on the right side. Good read, just a tough result. Now back to the 18th. Max Homa with his second. 310 off the tee, 121 coming in. That's a good spot. James Hahn is at his tournament now. It's in his hands, but only by a shot. As Shauffele has come back and picked up one birdie, getting him to 1 over on the day, back to 17 under, within a shot of the lead. K.H. Lee tied with Spieth and Scheffler, as they're right now 2 off the lead and about to begin that push through the back 9 as that final group is working the 10th now, with K.H. just 1 hole further along.
Another 70-degree day in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's been that way every single day all week long as Hahn clings to a 1-shot lead as he's over at the 12th. And Brooks Koepka stepping in over there at the par 3.
Yeah, just a hard hole location to get it all the way back there. JL, gotta get the right club.
Yeah, you do, and there's nothing wrong with coming up about 20 feet short. It narrows back as you get closer to the back part of this green. You can see the bunker coming into play, the water definitely in play on the right. So coming off a bogey at the 11th for James Hahn, I think it's important to show a little restraint here. Just put something in there 20, 25 feet below the hole. You can see the wide part of the green there right in the middle. That's a great place to land it.
Yeah, that's his first bit of adversity that he's seen in quite some time. 51 holes till he made his first bogey since Thursday. So I agree, something short, unless he just picks the ideal club. But this is not a hole you want to mess with.
Going with 6-iron. Just saw Koepka hit 7-iron, so maybe he is going to try and stay aggressive here. Left bunker's not bad.
When pushing into the ball from a right, it's got it taking it to the left. This is headed at the bunker.
Oh, yeah. And that's in the first bunker on the left. It's going to leave a very long bunker shot. May have the ball a little below his feet as well, so not good position.
Jordan now at the 10th, his second shot.
See if one of these guys can hit a decent wedge shot.
I made a big mistake. Let's go.
No, this is just really almost a gross display of, you know, their talents, because they are way better than this.
Well, Spieth was just a mainstay on the FedEx Cup points list for a number of years. As you look at the FedEx Cup performances in his career, 13 through 17, when he racked up 11 wins. The FedEx Cup title since 2017, when he won the Open, it has been dried up. So Spieth in this position for the first time in a while with a 54-hole lead. How about Dustin Johnson, who has just been on fire? He won in Saudi Arabia today, adding another European Tour victory to his resume. In the last 9 events worldwide, Dustin Johnson has 4 wins and 3 seconds. And he leads the FedEx Cup standings by a point over Cantley as everybody's trying to move up here after today's final round here in Arizona. Back to 10.
Shauffele chewing one out from over near the, I'm not even sure where he was, 17. Yeah, that's a good shot from there. He's a long, long way left off the tee. So they're headed for home. Our leaders heading the inward half here at the TPC of Scottsdale.
Scotty Scheffler through the left rough. Just a wedge in, takes that big hop, the unpredictable nature of that lie in the rough, and he knew he needed to clear the bunker in front, but then you just have to strike a confident shot and hope it grabs the green. That one did not. So from 124, he's going to be left with much longer than expected in terms of a putt on the green. Now KH. He's going through his numbers.
Okay, so right side, okay, right? Right side of the pin should spin back to the left. I would just play the number, if not too short, because it's number's fine. Number's perfect. 70-meter shot. Yep.
Have to consider Sunday performance a bit disappointing right now. A lot on the line. Just one birdie today. He is 1 under when you compare it to the leaders. They've struggled more than he has, but he's still hoping that there's a few more scores out there today. He missed the cut the last trip here, and right now eyeing an opportunity. 149 yards. And
Okay, I gotta look at
one,
the shot.
we'll give him a good look for a birdie try.
You're trying to do the shot, yeah.
Through the first 3 days, we saw a lot of low scores, firing at flags with ease. Today, a bit more conservative for those two that were on top of the leaderboard at the 54-hole mark. For James Hahn, though, he has been aggressive, and right now at 18 under, Hahn holding the lead, but just by a shot. Shauffele coming back with 1 birdie to clean up his card. He's still 1 over for the round, but Hahn is running at a 5 under clip through 11 holes. So he's averaging a birdie just over every other hole today. So he is up by 1. KH has a look at birdie coming up at 11. We'll get to our leader.
Here's the bunker shot, James Hahn at 12. And that's pretty well done from there. Awkward spot with the water behind the flag. Always in the player's mind there.
Yeah, with the ball below his feet too. The heel's going to hit first, Justin. These shots are hard to spin.
Fortunately, he had enough green to work with where he could kind of chunk it out and let it release down there. So back to 10.
Jordan now from the very back edge of the green here. Difficult putt. And very quick from there. Yeah, that's just in the twilight zone right there. Shauffele, now this was just a moment ago, now live.
Back down the hill, a lot of hook in this putt. He's aiming this one out well to the right.
Look pretty much on line. Again, just a little shy. And what a difference this crowd has made, Zinger. Just the atmosphere. I know there's only 5,000 of them in here, but boy, it just a little feedback.
The players are so stoked to have fans out to give a little fist pump. It's like they were playing college matches. Now they're back on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, it was like playing in college, that's for sure. The only thing that would have made it more like that is if they'd been in shorts. Let's hope that never happens. Now, Shauffele up next, Bones.
And given how far off the mark he was on that tee ball, you know, over there basically, as you mentioned, on the 17th hole in some rough to a flag cut just over this bunker. He did a heck of a job just to get it to this point, and he can give this one a bit of a rip. It's back up the hill. Certainly one you don't have to be too concerned with the ball getting away from you speed-wise. And as we've talked about for the last hour or so, these guys need to get some kind of momentum going in this, get the crowd fired up. They want to be behind them, but you got to give them something to root for.
Right on line again.
They're just playing a little too careful.
Yeah, defensive.
It's understandable. I mean, the pressure's all on them. Now it's on Hahn, and I'll see how careful Hahn gets, or if he can still wail away. But psychologically, it gets more and more difficult as you go. You tend to come up short. You don't want to leave those little putts like Jordan's got coming up.
It's 12.
And James Hahn's got about a little outside of 10 feet left to clean up his par.
And Justin, he was paying very close attention to Stricker's ball as it sort of finished the last 4 or 5 feet.
In the lower right screen, we've got Jordan Spieth for par over at the 10th. Jordan Spieth's ball is going to be working to right to left. James Hahn from left to right. All right, good par by Jordan. And a good putt by James Hahn. Boy, that's a big up and down. Now he's got a couple of par 5s coming up, 17th, of course.
When you walk off that 12th green, Justin, you breathe a sigh of relief, and now you know you can really smash the pedal to the floor with those holes coming in.
Well, speaking of the holes coming in, Carlos Ortiz had a long iron to 12.5 feet here at the par 5. Makes it for eagle.
And where that hole's cut today, it should be a birdie hole for sure, and we might see some more 3s there.
Ortiz with 3 holes left to try to post one that really matters. Ultimate app for the ultimate fan. Download the official PGA Tour app now for real-time scoring, player scorecards, many more unique features. It's all at PGAtour.com. Download it now. Out to the 11th. K.H. Lee, who was right with his drive, had to punch out. So a par putt here at 11 to remain at 16 under. And so Lee is going to drop his first shot of the day back at 15 under. Now 3 back of Hahn, who just pulled off a clutch save at the 12th. 1 better than Xander Schauffele. Spieth still looming in hopes of his first win in 3.5 years.
Now taking a look at this play from the right side of the green. Oh, Murray not able to get it up onto the putting surface. That was a costly mistake when you're coming down the stretch at the finish line, hoping to have something good. He was trying to follow a birdie at 17. Ortiz, let's see what he can do after that big putt fell at the 15th. Ortiz now trying to keep the highlight reel going. Eagle at 15, 37-foot try here at 16. That'll go past the pin. So that will give him just a short putt for par, but he had moved it to 15 under. No bargain there. That's still about 3 feet of work. Now Murray to see if he can hold this from right off the edge. It'd be a great rebound if he could. Wow, that one caught a piece of the cup, almost in. But it looks like it'll be a bogey here for Murray to finish up. So he'll give the shot back that he gained at the 17th. And that will drop him back to 1 under at a minimum and back to 8 under for the week.
Upcoming schedule on the PGA Tour. We'll step aside and let our friends over at CBS take over the next 2. Pebble Beach and Riviera, the Genesis Invitational. And then the World Golf Championship in Mexico City has been moved to the Concession Golf Club in Bradenton, Florida because of COVID reasons. But we're going to have even better coverage there because my man here, Paul Azinger, and Gary Koch are members there. So looking forward to that, to start off a Florida swing of 4 in a row, and then concluding with the World Golf Championships in Austin and then the Valero Texas Open in San Antonio before the first, now the next major of the year, I should say. Let's set up this par 5 13th.
Well, it's a critical tee shot here, guys. The water is in play on the right-hand side for some guys, not for everyone, though, because some guys can power it over that water. The second shot, now I know this is Faraday's hole, David. I'm stomping all over you, but it's all carry to fly that high spot right there in that middle bunker.
Well, you get off to a good start here. Hahn.
Not sure he has the power to carry the water.
Well, he's leaning like he's let it sneak in that direction.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh, and we believe that may well be. It is in the water, 100%.
Wow.
So that, oh man, it's who can lose this the least?
Back at 11, tee shot for Shauffele, and with Hahn in trouble.
And 37 balls driven into the water here at the 11th. Hardest hole on the golf course, and that right rough gets a workout this week.
Ahead to 12.
And Louis Oosthuizen on the tee here. Just trying to thread the needle back there. Oh, easy. No, it's not going to hang up there. Finds the penalty area on the right. That's the danger of trying to get it all the way back here at 12.
Back to the dangerous tee shot at 11 for Spieth.
This is a real moment for Jordan if he can hit a ball in play. That right side is been visited a lot, and it can be like jail over there.
Who knows, depending on what kind of lie you get. You've got all sorts of shrubbery over there in the desert. Spieth has been able to escape for the most part from the desert floor most of the week, but we'll see about that one at 11 as Hahn has more problems at 13.
Yeah, James Hahn coming up and just utterly disgusted. Did not hit a great tee shot. Just hit it high, ballooned a little left to right. Then the wind picked it up. It caught the slope and just had no chance of holding the fairway. So all not lost, but things not looking great here. Can still sort of salvage a par and try and make up the difference on the closing holes. But with a birdie hole, it's tough to take.
Well, it is tough to take, but you know, it's part of what happens. He was behind. I'm sure he never expected to grab the lead that quickly, Noda or David. And sometimes it can be a jolt to your system. All of a sudden, this tournament's yours to win or lose, and you weren't really preparing for it all night mentally, necessarily.
And over on the 9th green, Rory McIlroy, who teed off the 10, he's made 9 birdies, 2 bogeys. This is for par. And that's a round of 64, 7 under par.
I think he'll be back here in the desert, Justin. Yeah, I think he's really enjoyed himself in his first Waste Management Phoenix Open. He says he wants to experience it with a full throttle of fans, so that'll be fun to watch.
Okay, over here at 13, James Hahn. And his caddy is going to stop this from going in the water. And he's going to get a place.
You'll just see how steep that slope is, which effectively makes this fairway about 8 to 10 yards more narrow. Anything catching that slope will run in to the penalty area. I'm not sure he's going to be able to get it to stay still there.
Yeah, you need to be careful. So you're not allowed to press the ball down into the turf. Not that you want to. Looks like it may be staying.
Well, if he gets this settled, what he's going to be faced with is 257 to the front, 278 to the hole. So reachable, but ball well below his feet.
I would not be grinding my club behind that one.
Back at 11. Shauffele and Austin Kaiser going over things, Bones.
Yeah, very fluffy lie in this right rough, 162 yards total. You wouldn't think he'd have even a glance at this flag cut up against the left side. Very likely he's playing into the center of the green here.
All right, we'll check it out with our top tracer presented by T-Mobile for Business.
Dead center of the green. Just carries the front bunker. That's a nice play, nice club selection from that kind of spot.
Really nice play.
Really great control there. He could have lost the tournament on that one swing.
Back to the leader at the moment.
That's a good look at just how far below his feet this ball is now. I mean, that will help him hit the big cut, which looks like he might be setting up for.
Too bad the hole's cut all the way on the far left-hand side of the green.
Yeah.
So I think anything in and around the green, I think you feel like will be a good shot. Don't know that he has enough firepower to carry this on.
bit low on the face. Like,
Yeah,
So?
well, it's out there.
It had a funky sound and a funky trajectory.
Yeah, it did. It took off
Almost
very
like it
low.
hit the hill in front of him.
It sounded like a worm burner.
Yeah, it was out of the heel. Look at that.
It's a worm burner.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, it hit the. I think it skipped off of that hill.
Well,
it's very nearly the toughest shot in the book is the draw out of the heel. How often did we hit that? Okay, that's in the desert.
At the kind of recovery you wanted over there from Hahn, and now Spieth trying to recover again at 11. Just going to punch this out. And he does make it out of the thick rough, just on the first cut for Spieth. Everybody kind of dodging and weaving here on the back nine at the Waste Management Phoenix Open. A little bit different than the electricity that Jordan Spieth put into the air yesterday. Maybe it'll be a late start for some of these guys to add some spark on this Sunday at TPC Scottsdale.
Here's Patton Kizzire, 10 under par at 16. Kizzire with a beautiful tee shot at 17 on Saturday. It led to an easy eagle, if there is such a thing. Nearly drove it for a double eagle. But that, here at 16, slips into the bunker left. So Kizzire will need to get up and down. Let's get to 17 now with Carlos Ortiz. And Ortiz, 15 under par, eagled 17, made par at 16, and this a little bit of an awkward angle, but if he can get a little height in the shot, he can get it to drop on to the putting surface and see if he can get it back to that flag. Russell Henley at 16, a little bit of a let go look from Henley. He was not happy with that one, and the reason is clear. It was off to the right all the way. And so Henley will have some work ahead of him as we get back to 17. Kevin Streelman, 11 under. This caught cleanly. Let's see if it takes a decent path. Big hop and headed for trouble. That looks like it's in the water. Harold Varner III, par 3 16th. He's got his eyes on this flag. Varner trying to get close. The other two haven't threatened the pin yet. That's the best of the bunch. So Varner just outside of 15 feet from the flag. He's coming off bogey as Varner at the 15th. Now to 17. Cameron Tringali.
Good swing, Cam.
And it looks like this one will come up just to the front portion. On the green, though, he'll have a long try for eagle.
Well, here's where you don't really want to be. The follow through here, James Hahn, he's just going to try and punch this out somewhere near the green, I believe. But watch him in the follow through for the recoil.
This has all kinds of hurt written all over it, David.
Oh, yeah. That was kind of all hands and arms, that's for sure, and it's a pretty good way to hit it fat. Boy, straddling cactus. That the only way it could have been worse if that were a cholla. That's a prickly pear, so it's not quite as aggressive. But you can see him tuck his arms up.
Yeah, earlier, just before we saw the real shot, this was Hahn backing in here, David, and you don't want to get too close to a prickly pear. In fact, the yardage book in his back pocket might have saved him.
Yeah, it did save him.
because you're going to lose any kind of battle with the Cactus of Arizona. That is for sure. So Hahn lies 4 up there as he came to this hole with a 1-shot lead. We go back to 11. So the last group trying to make up some big ground. We could see a total turnaround here in a few minutes.
Another putt just barely limply making its way to the hole. I can understand it there at 11, though. That was really fast.
Meanwhile, the adventures of Hahn.
Back at the 13th.
And David has to get this up and down to make 6, which would still drop a shot on.
It's like dropping 2 shots here.
It really is.
Yeah.
Tournament hanging in the balance basically for him here. Needs to get up and down.
Fires the club head in underneath that, and that's a beautiful shot. Wasn't just as easy as he made it look. It's really a big boy's grown-up shot there. We'll go back to 11.
And Jordan Spieth has this 4 par to remain at 16 under.
And you got to think if he's going to make any noise on this back 9 in terms of winning this tournament, he's going to have to get really hot with this putter. He hasn't made one yet today.
Remember, he was well off the fairway, and so Spieth pays the price. 3rd bogey of the day sends him reeling to +3 on the round. Just a day removed from a 61 where he tied his PGA Tour career low.
Well, that's the hardest challenge for Jordan Spieth, aside from being the last group trying to win, is just following up a score like that. It's never that easy.
Well, no one's running away with it. You got the guys that have come from far back, Hahn, but he's losing some ground, so Spieth is still in it to 12.
And K.H. Lee, this is for par. He was chipping from the left side of the green, ran it all the way off the green, almost into the water, chipped it in. So he remains at even par for the day, 15 under, and he's still got a chance. Back to 11.
Shauffele, little cleanup for par. To remain at 17 under, remember Hahn's going to drop at least 1 over there, so Schauffele's going to be tied for the lead here, at least here. Let's go to 17.
Carlos Ortiz, this awkward little second shot through the swale there, lands it in the upslope, lets it run out fast from there. That's well done. Well, back at the 13th, Koepka has got his nose in this race.
And absolutely, David. He knows that Hahn's going to drop at least 1. And this is a nice, smooth right to lefter, extremely makeable. Had the read down, just not enough pace there. Don't know why he left that one short. Didn't.
Well, there's never such a thing as a good 6 at a par 5, but when you look at the route that James Hahn took, it might be a good 6, especially after that 1 shot backed up against the prickly pear. I mean, he's just been back against the wall literally the entire hole. Has this for 6, David.
Yeah, and as we said, it's almost like dropping 2 shots here. 13th, really a birdie hole. Okay.
Yeah, it's the easiest hole on the golf course.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's what a shame to let that one get away.
So he is now tied for the lead with this young man.
More forgiving? Yes. Okay. I'm cool with this. If I can fight it down, that'd be great.
Boy, and I'll tell you, Zinger, if you told me that 17 under was going to be tied, you know, as we start the inward half, I wouldn't have believed you.
Yeah, I didn't think the guys at the top would all stumble, but they have so far.
207, water right. Cannot come up and out of this one here. You got to stay down, and if anything, missed it left of this flag.
Yeah, just try. put something in there 20, 25 feet short of this back hole location. Only 3 birdies have been made so far here today. That's a good safe play there.
Let's take a look at this FedEx file, get to know Xander Schauffele just a little bit better. Sports has run in his family for generations. 2 of his great-grandfathers played soccer at the European Premier level. His only instructor has been his father, and when he was asked if he had a psychologist earlier in the week, he said probably my dad, because he said he's been through a lot. His father Stefan grew up in Germany. He was an Olympic decathlete hopeful before a car crash with a drunk driver, so his dad has seen it all and has been by his son's side for most of the big ones through the years. Now Scheffler.
Well, so far Scheffler's played the best of the 3 in this last group.
This left, though, and looked to be quite a bit short. That's going to leave a very, very difficult bunker shot if that's indeed where the ball finished up.
It certainly did, Bone. That's in the front part of that first bunker.
Over at 17, Carlos Ortiz trying to clean up this one for birdie. Another one of the very good Latin American players. There seems to be 1 or 2 new ones pop up each year. Back to 12.
If you told me Jordan Spieth was going to be 3 over par standing on the 12th tee and yet only 2 shots back, I wouldn't have believed it.
Especially after the fireworks we saw yesterday.
Good swing here, right in the center of the green. Let's see if he takes enough club to get it all the way back there.
Yeah, he too came up about a club short. Smart play. These players just trying to gather themselves and make an aggressive push to 14.
And here is Hahn reeling from his last couple of holes.
Yes, and that tee shot he hit was just a little high and right. Wind picked it up. See if he can get it back in gear here, get something in the fairway. The past few years, this has been the toughest hole to hit the fairway on.
The left side's tough as well. There's new bunkers there, and it's really uneven if you're in the rough.
And he has found it, although he does appear to be sitting up pretty nicely. Might have been 3 bogeys in a row for Hahn had he not been able to save it at the 12th. He's at 17 under.
Louis Oosthuizen, second shot at 13, par 5, 254 yards. Looks like he's trying to take it up the left side, pin all the way to the back, but this one immediately starts moving to the right, and that takes that big kick on top of that. So you can see where the flag is located. It's all the way in that back corner with the bunkers protecting. Now 16. Scott Stallings with a pretty good shot into this par 3. And Stallings with a bit of applause. We'll see if he can line that putt up. Stallings will have a chance. Got rolling on the back 9 on Saturday, but struggling a bit today. Doubled 11, bogey 12. He did come back with eagle at the 13th, so right now 1 over on the round. And Stallings trying to see if he could hold that putt, and that will get him to level again for the day. And you see these lies in the bunker. If it's sitting up, it's certainly a benefit to the player. And as we take a look at Scottie Scheffler working the 12th, the card right now 16 under in total. A beautiful afternoon. Sunday in Scottsdale. Scottie Scheffler at 16 under, 1 under today. He's bunkered at the par 3 12th and certainly needing to keep within striking distance of Hahn at the top. He's right now at 16 under par. He's only trailing by a shot as Hahn and Shauffele are now tied at 17 under. So we'll see what he can do here at the par 3 12th. And up and down, much needed right now.
Bunker shot of Scottie Scheffler on the way. Tough to get it all the way back there. That's pretty well done from there. Used a little less loft, tried to take the spin off of it and let the green feed it back to this hole location. Actually looks like he's enjoying this, as he should.
And Justin, just in case anybody's thinking at home, boy, Spieth made a good swing there, but he's got some, you know, a good 50 feet, as you said, a club short, you know, in terms of getting the ball all the way back to spin. That's because it was intentional. He does that sometimes on this hole. As much as Jordan needs to make up ground here, what he wants to do more than anything else is take the water out of play. So he picked a club that even if he smoked it to the right, it would not ultimately get to the water, and he'll just take his chances from some 50 feet. And if he ends up making par, he'll try to make birdie somewhere else.
Now, that's a great point, Bones, and you're not going to lose any ground by making par here at the 12th. So take the big number out of play, play it safely. He always has just wonderful touch with the putter.
And then take your chances from long distance, because if anybody can fill it up from downtown, it's this guy.
And there are a lot of people on this hill behind me, and as I've mentioned, they're just dying for this guy to do something big. They really want to throw their support behind him.
Pretty quick putt here, and at the end it goes sharply to the right. Oh, wow! What a putt that was. Just a little less pace and that would have gone in dead center. At the end of this, just a hard lip out. That would have gone a good 3 to 5 feet past had it not touched the hole.
You know, John Wood made the comment yesterday when Spieth was making all those from long range. He said he's kind of like Steph Curry. He starts making them, he thinks he can make them all. By the way, Curry made them all last night. He poured in 57 points.
11 three-pointers last night.
Maybe that bodes well for Spieth.
It's like watching a dolphin play basketball.
This is Hahn with a decent lie at 14, trying to hoist it up the hill.
Just in the middle of the green here would be great. That's nice. This is a pretty tough hole, the 14th.
Yeah, Hahn just trying to calm down here. Get your wits about you. Tied for the lead. Tuesday, don't miss the show. Nominated for 3 Critics' Choice Awards. An all-new episode of This Is Us coming your way Tuesday right here on NBC. Over to the 12th.
And Xander Schauffele with his birdie effort. You'll have seen, had a good look at how fast Jordan Spieth's putt was. This needs to slow down. He may have had a look at it, but he didn't pay enough attention. Left himself with a good 9 feet or so for par.
Time now for the driving distance grid as we head back over to the 18th. Brought to you by the Epic Drivers from Callaway. We've got Carlos Ortiz just one back on the tee. Grayson Murray has the lead right now on the grid out there with a drive of 366 yards.
366. Nobody's catching that, are they? Oh, must be playing short. That was pounded. This Ortiz, pound for pound, is about as strong as anybody. You can't weigh more than $145.
342.
Nice drive.
Good poke for Ortiz. Maybe he can get a birdie and give him something to think about back at 13.
K.H. Lee
Great job.
was really, really good from there. Had to drive it down into the apron. Judge the bounce. Beautifully done. The 12th.
And Shauffele with a putt coming back up the hill now, Bones.
And for anybody out there that doesn't believe in a valley effect, there's exhibit number 1. Guys, it's good. Just don't putt the ball 12 feet past the hole from that kind of distance unless something's going on. His first putt straight towards downtown.
His pace on the greens has really been bad so far today. He needs to get this just right. Yes.
Oh, beautiful putt there.
Boy, that is large.
So he remains tied for the lead with James Hahn. Move up to 14.
Second for Koepka, who says he's been rejuvenated with these fans that are here, albeit just 5,000 strong every day, but you can hear him and he has thrived on it. Says he kind of lacks motivation when he goes to tournaments that don't have that kind of electricity, but Brooks Koepka has made a career out of performing when the stakes are high and the energy is up, maybe he can post something early for the guys as well. Back to 12.
Scotty Scheffler with a putt that goes from left to right and pretty quick, Bones.
Yeah, exactly on the line that Jordan Spieth had. So he would have a really good idea what this does.
Lost it to the right, never had it out far enough. Really the bogey there caused by the errant tee shot. So he needs to get in attack mode, being 2 back. A couple good drives at the par 5s. He can have mid-irons into those greens. Move up to 13.
KH Lee, this for birdie. He's 15 under par. One of those guys trying to get in and hang up a number. You know what'll happen over the last few holes here at the TPC at Scottsdale. He's just 1 back.
Hard to project what the winning number
No.
might be with this erratic play,
I
David.
predict there will be a catastrophic error on 17.
Okay, your hole coming up. It's always an interesting one down the stretch. Here's Ortiz after that big drive, coming off his birdie at that 17th.
He can post it.
And Carlos Ortiz nearly made an eagle.
Wow, that's going to get him to 17 under and nearly in the hole to post 18, but 17 is the leader in the clubhouse. I'm going to give him this putt.
Absolutely. Wow. Oh, man, almost went in. Carlos was tied with Patrick Reed for the 54-hole lead last week in that eventful Torrey Pines tournament. Final round 78 he shot to finish way back in the pack, but maybe Carlos can go birdie to catch the leaders and then wait and see.
Nate Lashley trying to come out of this bunker at 15. That club laid wide open. Lead with the heel of the club, but unable to stop that one. So he is 12 to 13 feet on the other side. And so Lashley just hoping to see if he can have one run in and drop in the center of the cup. And it's a chance to get it to 12 under. The par needed here for Russell Henley. And he comes up short, 10 under par. Henley, one of those players that was off and running on Saturday, started on the back 9 first and went out in 29. Really racing up the leaderboard and then just wasn't able to keep it going after turning in 29. That was a front 9 that included 5 birdies and an eagle. He played 1 over after that and has played 1 over since. Now to see if he can pick up the birdie, Nate Lashley, to move it to 12 under. That's got a chance, just missing on the edge. And so a little bit of distance between him and the cup, and it was too much to overcome. So a tap in par and a disappointing one, to say the least. Harold Varner III to see if he can pick up a birdie here at 17. Well, he had a chance to move to 13 under, and that looked like a little bit of let go in that stroke, lacking confidence as it just fell offline. Did not have the holding speed, so Varner settles for par at the short par 4. Now back to 15, Brendan Todd, to get it to 12 under. And that's along the left side. So these players just start seeing the lines late in the afternoon. Not much has changed conditions-wise. Greens are in beautiful shape, but missed opportunities at the par 5 and the short par 4. Andrew Putnam, 14 under. And he took this on the inside path. And that one will be off to the right. And he can pitch that up and onto the green and see if he can have a short distance putt for birdie. Xander Schauffele trying to battle back as he's at 17 under through 12. A couple of holes further along is Hahn. Ortiz is in the clubhouse with that 64. helped himself greatly with the eagle at 15, then closed with birdies at 17 and 18. And we'll see if that holds up. You get the feeling with 2 par 5s and the short par 4 in front of Xander that he'll still have something to say about the outcome. Jon Rahm, 17, fairway medal. This may line up with the cup. Does it have the kick? He is on with a 3-wood. Beautiful tee shot.
Back here at TPC Scottsdale, you never know who's going to show up. A hummingbird checking out the cactus and thinking, are there any blooms on there that I can get close to? Beautiful area of the country, Arizona. In Scottsdale, where we've got 2 tied for the lead, but James Hahn is over at the 14th to break out of it.
Well, this would be a nice one. He played a decent tee shot, a really good second to this point. Bogeying 2 of the last 3. That's just a good solid par. He will be tied for the lead heading to the eagleable 15th hole.
And here is a 64 in the making for Carlos Ortiz, which will tie Rory McIlroy for the best round of the day. And that is your leader in the clubhouse at 17 under. Ties his low final round on tour. And we're thinking, though, in that 19 under territory might be the number that you have to be around to have a chance to lift the Crystal Trophy at the end of the day. And this guy looks like he might have a chance, especially if this goes in for birdie at 14, which it does. Remember, he birdied 5 of the last 6 coming home yesterday. And Brooks Koepka is 1 back with 4 to play.
What a good putt. That would have gone in a shot glass, and now he's got this 15th hole coming up, Justin.
Yes, we do. 550 yards. You can see it's an elevated tee box hitting down the hill. Fairway slopes well to the left there on the left-hand side, bringing the water into play. So it plays much narrower than what you see off the tee. And then if you can get it in play, anything there around the front edge of the green leaves a very good look for eagle. We've seen 5 eagles so far through the first 3 rounds. We've already seen 5 here today.
And it all starts with this shot. Just must hit a good tee shot. Critical swing here.
Likes to move the ball left to right. Started up the left center. Cut it away from the water would be ideal. Looks like he's lost this maybe a little bit out to the right.
Oh.
No, that's perfect. Now James Hahn looks like he's set up for a draw, Noda.
Yeah, that's really what he's been relying on lately. Stricker just hit the fairway as well just before him, so he'd like to join the other 2 players in his group in the short grass. This is headed down the left center. Should be fine. Soft bounce.
Yeah, he did get the soft bounce there. That's in great shape as well. To 13.
Scotty Scheffler, his second shot to the par 5. Bit of a slip there with the right foot. Pleading. He's not too proud to plead, and that is flag high. Good shot.
Come down like 20 feet right of it.
Jordan out from 238.
Sorry, this way.
Let's get some more eagle putts going here in this last group.
Yeah, he's stuck.
Yeah, one of these guys needs to bump start himself.
Going with 5-iron, turning it towards the flag. It's on a super line.
Oh, wow, what a shot. What a swing. Probably deserved a little better than that, but that's a good chance. Spieth to jump into the lead. Let's see this. This came down very close to the hole. Now, Shauffele.
Just a few yards closer, going with the 6-iron. This kind of altitude, this kind of heat, when you get between clubs, I always love hitting something hard. Very high, turning left, just looking to take care of that front bunker.
It's another excellent shot. Leaves that in a good spot.
Impossible to predict this one. We've got 3 tied for the lead. Ortiz in as the leader in the clubhouse for the second 64 of the day. Hahn and Shauffele still working out here. And they will be approaching that stadium par 3 16th in just a bit. They start constructing that last September. And about 600 miles northwest of here is the Edgewood Tahoe Resort. Normally it's the site of the American Century Championship. 2 weeks from now on the 18th fairway, it'll contest 2 outdoor NHL games on NBC. Saturday, February 20th, and the next day on the 21st.
Andrew Putnam with his second here at 17. You can see the upslope he's working with. Good contact coming in from that right side. And he's left himself with a very good opportunity to pick up birdie. That would move him to 15 under. He's one of the players trying to move up into the top 5. Varner, second at 18. And Varner looking to see if he can end the day and the week on a high note. It's a good shot right at the pin. So it settles below the hole. And 9 feet, he'll come up that little slight slope to see if he can make the birdie. Now from the front of 17, this is a long distance try for eagle. Stallings, that one stalls well in front of that target. So he's left himself after an 87-foot try with about a 12-footer. Now Patton Kazire. A little bit of a tough spot just off the cart path, able to gain a good stance, and the lie looked okay, but he'll come up short from 110 out. He had a big drive, 339 yards, and he'll be scrambling in front of 18. $17 under, 1 in the clubhouse. That's Carlos Ortiz with back-to-back birdies, finishing up his round and week. 15 now for James Hahn. He'll have a look at birdie. We'll see what it shapes up to be. And for Xander, he still has the par 5 13th that he's working now. Another par 5 in front of him. And ultimately that short par 4 17th. He's trying to figure out right now if he can come up with what is needed to win this golf tournament.
Well, out of the 13th green, the par 5. Our heroes have chances here. Shauffele will be away, just off the edge there.
And certainly you would think this is going to be like shooting fish in a barrel here, David, but we've seen some craziness from this last group today, the first 12 holes, so can't take anything for granted, but Shauffele certainly didn't get as much out of that iron shot as he would have wanted. Not happy at all that he missed the putting surface, but now just pitch something, get it on the ground, let it run out. The green will take it from right to left at the end, but a ball he's going to get up and down 97% of the time.
Well, this is a shot that you don't see the old style 7 or 8 iron run up the way maybe Raymond Floyd would have hit it, Zinger.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that whole generation, Curtis Strange, Tom Kite, Haler, when they used to like to hit those little bump and runs. Go back, you know, I play some with Tony Jacklin at home once in a while, or I watch him at least anyway, and he still likes to hit those little bump and runs. It's the lost art, really.
I think we might see a little something along those lines here. Looks like he's got not a lot of loft.
Yeah, it looks like 9 iron. Maybe it's certainly not one of his sand wedges.
He's making all these practice swings because it's not a given that you're going to catch it exactly where you want it on the face, and that's the key to controlling the distance here. Not a 4 to miss hit. He's just going out on the toe side of center. It's a very safe place to be when you hit those bump and runs. Remember that at home.
And that's the miss hit you predicted potentially there, Zinger. That's just poor.
His touch has just been way off.
And Xander has seen enough of second place finishes. Most runner-up finishes since the start of 17-18, 9 total. 7 total since his last win in 2019. He says, every time I get too excited, bad things happen. I have been concentrating, especially this year, of staying calm, not looking too far ahead, staying on the moment. And that patience has been tried big time today.
Big part of that challenge is overcoming a little crummy little chip like that and seeing if you can hold the putt.
This was a moment ago. Matthew Neesmith, who shared the first round lead with Mark Hubbard after a 63, is creeping up the board, coming off eagle at 15. He also added a birdie at 13, 4 under as he came to the 16th, and we go back to 13.
Scotty Scheffler now. This is a decent chance, Bones.
It certainly is, but we've seen Scotty struggle quite a bit with his pace today. He's got to be very wary of it here, putting straight towards the valley.
Lovely try. That'll be a tap-in birdie. We go to 14.
And K.H. Lee to tie the lead at 17 under.
Boy, he finished strong yesterday and came out here with a load of confidence. Oh.
So he'll stay 1 back.
Just 1 under on his round.
With 4 to play. Back to 15.
James Hahn has had a long time to wait here, waiting for the group to finish up on the green. He's taken about 23 practice swings.
Well, he's nice and loose, Justin. Scotty considers 215 covers the water. Looks awfully thin through the opening. 238 to the hole, only 10 yards wide to get it up and on the green there.
Oh, this looks like it's going left.
Yeah, that's water. No question. That is just a pressure succumbing to
the pressure. I mean, it's a big moment. You know, that's what golf's all about. That's what these final rounds are all about.
It's just so hard when you're Zinger, when you've got that long to think about a shot of this importance.
Yep. And James hasn't been there in a while. He knows how to win, but boy, what a disappointment. Now Koepka.
And the momentum just picking up for Koepka. Expect a great swing out of him, and that's exactly what he put on this. This is a nice shot.
Wow. And that will get slowed up. Might come back just a, no, stays up there. It'll leave a quick putt, but inside of about 15 feet for eagle for Koepka.
And I think we just saw a microcosm of what Brooks Koepka has talked about in the past. He says when he goes to majors especially, he knows that some guys just can't handle the pressure.
Yep.
You might see swings like this, like he just saw.
Well,
James Hahn, who hasn't been in contention in a long time, succumbing to it, and then he steps up and delivers like he knows he can and has proved he can in huge championships.
Well, Koepka knows he's staring at Hahn for the win at the moment, and that ball in the water was like throwing red meat to a lion for Brooks Koepka, and he just went right at it.
Well, Jordan Spieth can still tie for the lead if he knocks this in. He has had nothing going today. So difficult to follow a really low round with another one. But not his day so far. Still has a chance, though. That's birdie. And just a shot back. Shauffele for the outright lead.
And this would make up for that crummy little chip shot he just hit. And this is part of what you talked about earlier, Dan, staying in the moment. And he lets it get away here at 13.
Yeah, that's like a drop shot there. And it's a bit of a blunder fest here at the top. Nobody really taking charge of anything, but something strange is going to happen over the last few holes. It always does.
Steve Stricker, as he is getting ready to hit his approach, third shot coming into 15. 14 under is Stricker. Even on the front with a birdie and a bogey. Pulling this one back nicely from 75 yards. And that looks like a birdie that he can add to his card. If he makes it, he goes to 15 under within 2 with 3 to play. Anything can happen. He's 1 under today. Now Shauffele for birdie to get to 16 under. And solid work there. So he put himself in a great spot as he was able to brush that in from just inside of 5 feet. Now Hahn, as he has to come from the drop area with his 4th here at 15. 2 into the penalty area, 3 coming out with that lost shot. And now he's trying to save his score. A good shot coming in. And if he can make that, then he's looking at holding on to that 17 under number. Jordan Spieth, just a shot back. And Spieth, this is up the right side. It looked like he caught that right in the center of the face. Good drive. A little bit of drama at the top as James Hahn is trying to scramble his way to a saving par at 15 after going for the green in 2. He is right now in a 3-way tie. If he can make the putt, he'll hang on to that 17 under score without losing anything at 15. Still has the 17th in front of him.
Back at TPC Scottsdale. As you look at that par 3 16th on the right, looming, limited to 2,600 spectators, but they have been loud as you could possibly be, even with not 16,000 like it usually is. This is Shauffele on the tee at 14.
We'll see if the driving clinic continues. Shauffele has been spectacular.
Looking to go with the draw. This is a pull hook, not a good tee shot.
Well, he's really, you can tell he's starting to press now. That miscue there at the last, not making birdie off the cart path.
And that just ran into a prickly pear patch, maybe. Not sure it got out of that first clump or not. And that's where the fans seem to be gathered around it, which could lead to an upcoming unplayable for Shauffele.
There's so much room to the right there at 14.
17. Here's your hole, David.
Yeah. Matthew Neesmith. A 3-wood. This green easily reachable for these guys. Yeah, just needs to hang on there. That goes much farther left. It's in danger. That will be all right. Difficult 2-putt. We go to 15.
And Brooks Koepka has got an eagle putt here that would get him out in front by himself. And Noda, this is a putt. The most of the break that I've seen is in the beginning of the putt. As the putt gets closer to the hole, it kind of stops breaking. It straightens out a little bit.
And it's one of those putts, you just got to be a little bit cautious of the speed. It doesn't appear that the greens are running as quickly as they have been over the last few days, but still have to be cognizant to make sure you don't give yourself a 6 or 7 footer coming back. And Justin Brooks eagled this hole back in 2015 when he went on to win for the first time on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, most players have been missing that putt on that high side. Himself with just outside of a couple feet for birdie. James Hahn, after that perfect drive, found the moat that surrounds this island green, went to the drop area, played his 4th, and he's got to putt up the hill for par here, which would feel like a birdie for him after that terrible second shot.
And certainly wouldn't take him out of it if he were to get this to go down with the 16th and then the 17th. So much can happen there.
Yeah, he may be dancing his way off this 15th green, Gangnam style, if he holds it for par. We'll give you the example of what he did 8 years ago on the next hole.
He's got the moves, and I'll tell you, he's kind of from around here. He's spends a lot of time on this particular golf course, probably knows the greens as well as anybody on this leaderboard, Noda.
Yeah, that's certainly an advantage for all the players that do reside here, as they A little extra local knowledge.
Got to keep the speed up on this putt, up the hill. Well, he did the right thing with his wedge, got it below the hole. Just needed maybe a touch more pace.
You just gotta think the golf gods aren't gonna let you win this tournament when you bogey 13 and 15.
And there's really two huge missed opportunities. Back to 14.
All right, Jordan Spieth is next. What about Schauffele's situation, Bones?
Well, Dan, he can certainly get a club on it, but I would think he's going to take an unplayable here if he tries to play a shot back towards the 13th or anywhere up towards this green. He'd be taking a huge risk. So I think right now he's looking to keep that point between himself and the flag and figuring out what his number and his lie is going to look like should he take relief.
Huge risk in more ways than one, as
that's the fast part of your green.
Spieth gets last second instructions from Greller. We'll check out our top tracer presented by T-Mobile for Business.
All right, now the hole's on the right-hand side of this green, and Jordan has flared a few shots off to the right, kind of weakly, and it very low over there.
178, some helping wind at the moment, playing in the high 160s.
Let's see if he can get a good solid strike right to the middle.
Boy, this is right of it, needs a kick.
Oh, yeah.
It's fine.
Whew. Boy, the way he was groaning after he hit it, I thought we had the same thing, but that is a beauty.
15.
And Stricker, who laid up with his second shot. This was a moment ago. This for birdie. A nice wedge in there. And now we're live. Koepka for the birdie. Just a left center putt. Yep. Well done. So now Brooks Koepka tied for the lead along with Xander Schauffele and Carlos Ortiz in the clubhouse.
Well, Noda alluded to it earlier, an eagle, which propelled him to his first PGA Tour win 6 years ago here at TPC Scottsdale. This was just short of the green at that par 5 from 51 feet away. That tied him for the lead as he began the final day, 3 strokes behind the leader, Martin Laird. And then it was just a little tap in for par at 18 for a final round 66 to earn his first career victory. Celebrating with the fans and that crystal. Of course, 4 major championships later, Brooks Koepka has turned into one of the powerhouse players in the game, but he has been coming back from injury as well. So Koepka, finally feeling 100% health-wise, is tied for the lead. Back at 14, Scheffler coming up. And a good shot by Scheffler coming off his birdie at 13. And there's the unplayable that Bones alluded to for Schauffele out of the prickly pear. And back at 15.
And Louis Oosthuizen, after a perfect drive down the right center, just 223.
Boy, an eagle would go a long way here for Louis.
And Louis even par for the day, 14 under, and he'll have a great look at eagle. Just a perfect iron shot there.
What kind of angle does Schauffele have, Bones?
Well, he's got an angle, Dan, 114 yards, but he's got things to contend with. Certainly there's a tree overhead. I'm not sure. I haven't seen him take any practice swings yet. If the branch is going to interfere with the backswing, he's also got to think about his contact.
All right, he's going to continue to look at it. Back at 15 we go.
And K.H. Lee giving it a go from 213, and he's got a great visual after watching Oosthuizen.
Oh, a nice smooth looking swing anyway, but
yeah, he tugged it.
That is a horrible place to be.
It really is. He's going to have to land that ball on the downslope. A lot of trouble trying to get that close.
Brooks Koepka thrives in the spotlight. It's not near as boisterous as it has been in years past, but tied for the lead coming through that tunnel, always a thrill. 167 yards today at this celebrated venue.
Great chance to hit it close here at 16 as that the hole is cut right between a couple of mounds.
And he didn't like it, looked down right away and knew he didn't get it back there. And back at 14, Schauffele getting closer to pulling the trigger.
And you cannot blame him for taking his time here. There's a lot at stake here. You've got to get the contact just right. It's so easy to hit these thin when that voice inside your head says, don't hit it fat on the downswing.
Well, that's right, Nick. Right now, it'd be one thing to try to make par, but you cannot leave this green with worse than a bogey.
Sounded flush, got some nice height on it.
And you can spin it off that desert floor, and that's exactly what Shauffele has done. So he'll have a crack at par to stay in that three-way tie for the lead.
Well, he really needed to get good, clean contact like that, put that ball in the green, or this could have been a disaster here.
Back over to the par 3 16th. Again, the closest of the day, Satoshi Kodaira, 5 feet 7 inches. As you look at his color code red, you can see not only exactly where they ended up, but the action on the ball. And here is Stricker sitting at 15 under.
Much better looking shot right here, guys.
Yeah, that's back there for the captain. And Stricker wakes him up.
Don't forget about Stricker, he says. Don't forget about me. I'm still here.
53 years old, soon to be 54. What a week it's been for him. Back at 17.
Matthew Neesmith for birdie. We get a good putt.
Oh, David, how about that?
Wow.
Got to go back to Friday when he hit it in the water at the 18th and made triple bogey.
Boy, try picking a winner.
Yeah.
Try picking a winner here.
Yeah, good luck. This is Hahn, who's been all over the golf course today after snatching that lead, but still is right there, one back.
Yes, and this one's hung out similar to Koepka's line.
And just off the edge. But it's worth a look. You can never watch this and not put a big smile on your face. James Hahn, the year after the song Gangnam Style went up the charts in 2012. The next year, on his way to his 62, he gave us a little Gangnam Style on his way to a 9-under round. Right up, James.
Out to the par 4 17th. Will Zalatoris, and he will take a fairway medal and try and bring it up the right side. This looks like it's a little bit off the right edge and then turning back towards the center of the green, so it'll meet the front part, and if it does hold on, he'll have a long putt coming up. We've seen those cross green putts. They have been rather lengthy. Andrew Putnam for birdie. He gets it at 18. That'll get him to 16 under par. It won't be enough to match Ortiz in the clubhouse, but he'll happily take that with a very solid finish. So that moves him up to a share of 4th. Now back to 17. JT Poston. And Poston, that big hop trying to urge it onto the green. It does. And it'll find that left portion. So coming across about 70 feet he'll need to travel. John Rahm, birdie chance at 18 to finish up at 14 under. And he misses. So Rahm, a bit perplexed by some of these reads. They just haven't been falling for him. He'll wrap up with a par. Keegan Bradley is at 17. And Bradley, he's calling attention to the fans on the right. So that looks like it's hopping right through on the other side of the walking path. Fans aware, as you have to appreciate the player and the marshals letting them know to be on the lookout. So Xander Schauffele, can he save par at 14 and hold on to a share of the lead? We'll see.
While we were away, this was Schauffele to try to save par at 14. Just not enough. Third bogey of the day for the 54-hole co-leader. Scheffler missed his birdie attempt, and now we're live with Jordan Spieth to tie the lead. Nope.
These guys, they just are so off on their touchy-feely shots today. They've left so many putts short.
It's a day to hang in there because no one's doing anything really special, aside from Koepka, who's made a nice comeback. But this is Hahn from the edge. There will be no Gangan-style celebration here today, but it should be a par to stay one back. And back at 15.
And this is KH Lee a moment ago. His third shot from the left side of the bunker. Lands it on the downslope. There's just not much of a chance from there unless you just get it on the upslope.
And high above the stadium, par 3 16th for Brooks Koepka.
This is one of those putts. It feels like it wants to go right to left, but just doesn't come back.
Koepka said if he could be within 3 at the turn, I have a chance. That's what he said after his round yesterday. He's going to settle for par here after 3 birdies in a row to stay tied for the lead at 17 under.
And Jordan Spieth with a very important tee shot, Bones.
Absolutely huge if he wants to win this tournament. Left center needs a soft bounce or it'll reach the water.
Oh, firm bounce. That is not going to hold up. Yeah, there it is. There are the ripples. Overhooked it.
Very gentle here, mate. Just straight on the top.
Trying to get a little too aggressive, get a little too much out of it there off the tee.
I mean, you just know that you have a 40-acre field to the right. You cannot put it in that water. Not today, not now, not at that moment.
Now Scheffler. Not a great visual here. Just wants to put some up the right center.
Just trying to do the same thing you did on 14.
Hit the peel cut. Right on the right side. Needs a good first bounce.
Got it.
Oh, he sure did. And a big bounce, too. That is way down there. Now up at the green, KH Lee for birdie here to tie for the lead at 17 under. Going up the hill. Oh, great up and down there. Did about all he could do with the bunker shot. Knew he was going to leave himself with a good 12 feet or so. So now he finds himself tied for the lead. Now back at the tee, Xander Schauffele's got to shake off that tee shot at 14.
No question about it. He knows better than anybody that you can't miss left here, and he just saw Spieth do it.
He is 4 under on this hole for the week. 2 birdies and an eagle on Friday.
Right center, pounded. Beautiful tee shot.
What a gut check that was. Shauffele just let it rip. Beautiful.
Avoid the divot. Oh, it just did. So now up at the green, Oosthuizen for an eagle to pull within 1. Oh, just didn't get it high enough. So wasted opportunity there after a beautiful long iron to 16.
And Stricker for the birdie. He was a little off in his putting yesterday, said he struck it better than he did in the first 2 days, but couldn't make anything. But Stricker with 3 birdies in the last 4 holes. The U.S. Ryder Cup captain.
Only missed 1 green yesterday, hadn't missed a green today. He's at 32 greens in a row.
And can you believe it? After everything we've seen, Stricker has a shot. Boy. This leaderboard is like a Rubik's Cube. Every time you think you got it figured out, it takes another twist or turn. Final round, the Waste Management.
Matthew Neesmith, second shot at 18 out of the right rough. Tee shot of 254, so he took less than driver, and it left a longer shot into this green, 196. He's going to miss it, and that will just spin off to that left lower area. Now Keegan Bradley after his tee shot found the dormant grass right of the walking path. Oh, look at that. Very handy play. Pitched it right at the pin. Now it did release on him, but he did give it everything in terms of execution. Just had to carry on to that raised green. Second coming into 18 now for Nate Lashley. And this one will try and come back off of that little ledge. Actually hangs up there, so it's going to leave about 20 feet for a finishing birdie try. Will Zalatoris through that valley up to this top tier. And he is 4.5 feet from the flag. It's going to give Zalatoris a great chance to see if he can finish up and put one more circle on the card and then head for the finishing hole. Brendan Todd is at 18, second shot. Todd at 11 under. Coming into the home hole. He drove it up the left side. And that's a good position on the green. Had 155 coming in, and now about 11 feet to pick up a finishing birdie.
This is K.H. Lee, tied for the lead at the 16th.
Beautiful tempo. That's a nice shot. It's the narrowest part of that green.
Never won on the PGA Tour. Third year out here. He's won a couple times in Japan and on the Korea PGA Tour. Back at 17.
Steve Stricker with the driver. And a touch to the right, might need to bounce left. Doesn't get it. Easy, easy, easy. What a tee shot. Oh. Okay, well, he's a little on the upslope there. May not be too bad. We'll go back to 15.
Jordan Spieth has taken his drop. This is his third.
Just like yesterday.
230. He had the best shot of his week here yesterday with a hybrid. With this very accessible flag, let's not count him out, but he'd have to step up and hit a shot here.
Ball well above his feet.
Thin. He's asking for it to hit short, take a little pace off it, but it doesn't. It flies all the way there. Now he'll have an incredibly difficult putt for 4. He cannot believe how far that flew in the air.
Oh, it hit just short. It's tight though. Damn it.
Koepka now with the fairway wood at 17. He's had that one drift a little right as well. He'll be down in the hollow, just an awkward angle. 15 again.
And now Shauffele with his second from just 204.
Very high, asking for a late draw. Let's see where this flies to. And that's going to disappoint him, but that's a makeable eagle chip, but he'd love to have it on the surface.
Yeah, just needed about 4 or 5 more yards, but that is a great place to come in from.
James Hahn. That one again, tight down the right-hand side. Maybe a little better angle there. Back to 15.
And Scotty Scheffler with his second, and Bones, he can hit these irons a mile up in the air.
He's incredible. The key here is make sure you fly it to the surface with a 7-iron. This ball shouldn't go too far once it hits. Relative to the height you speak of. Boy, and there it is. It is launched straight up in the air. Just right of the hole. He's talking to it, but doesn't get enough out of it.
So both players in great shape. Just short of the green here at 15. They'll have eagle chips coming up. Look at that bunch leaderboard. I can get rid of my fingernail clippers because they've got an absolute nail biter here at the Waste Management Phoenix Open. We'll be right back.
Lucas Glover finishing up on the front side. This is at the 9th. He's at 4 under par. Just a nice little chip. Just misses on the right side. And a little work left. So Glover, who was coming off bogey at 8, just trying to hang on. That dropped him back to level for the day. We get to the other side of the golf course. Matthew Neesmith, after his approach, was from nearly 200 yards out here at 18. He misses the green left, and now he's missed his mark coming up, so it's going to leave a much tougher putt for par. Long putt here. This is Davis Riley at the 9th. He's alongside Matt Kuchar and Lucas Glover. Now Riley for birdie, 36 feet. This one trying to hold that line. You can see it just jets away to the left. So a bit of a misread there from Riley. And now downhill, birdie try. Lashley was hoping this would come off the backstop. 21 feet and a miss. And from that top spot, he did expect it would fall a little right to left. Instead, it stays fairly straight. It'll be a tap in. So with the final round coming down to the final few holes, Carlos Ortiz is in the clubhouse, tied for the lead. Brooks Koepka with that charge on the back 9, as he's at 4 under with 2 to play. K.H. Lee tied for the lead as well, as Shauffele has dropped back to 16 under. There's a big group at 16 under. Steve Stricker right now 3 under, working the 17th. We'll see what it looks like for him coming up. But a big name has entered the equation, and when you have Brooks Koepka coming down the stretch with a head of steam, he's going to be tough to take down. Out to 17.
You can see what Brooks Koepka has there. He's going to have to bump this into the slope in front of him, try and judge the kick. Judge that. Oh! Koepka vaults into the lead. Something strange always happens here at 17. And I guess, well, that's not so strange. He's pretty good at this. One more look. Lands it right on the apron, right where he wanted to. Read it perfectly. Wow.
Listen to that noise.
He's a big guy for the big moment.
Just what he's yearned for, is a little atmosphere. Talking to his caddy, Ricky, and he was saying, that's exactly what we need, a little bit of atmosphere. That was from 97 feet.
It was a no-doubter. The guy's a deft touch under pressure. He's proven it.
I think, guys, you could hear that roar from some 450 yards away. So amazing to have the fans back.
Disappointing eagle chip for Shauffele. So he'll try and make his birdie putt to pull within 2.
As I look at it, it's like towards these coins sort of thing. Yeah.
Go back to 17.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what's going on here.
Well, Stricker's looking for a place to take relief from a drainage area, and
Well, in the meantime, we'll go back to 15.
And Scotty Scheffler with this eagle pitch, trying to pull within 1 of the lead.
Oh, that's a really poor shot. He decelerated into that, and it's not done yet. He's got to work hard just to make the 4 now on a very makeable pitch.
Yeah, that's neither player's best there from a very good spot to pitch from. About as basic as it gets.
I mean, Koepka's shot was so difficult compared to those two. Stricker's got a tasty one here.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, of the 3 pitch shots that these players had, Stricker definitely has the easier of the 3. But Koepka made it look awfully easy with his.
Stricker's got to decide here if he wants it to hit 1 or 2 times into that sticky green stuff.
Well, I think what he's struggling on the visual side here, seeing is there's a couple sprinklers up by the edge of the green that he's got to avoid somehow. because in the blink of an eye, he just went 3 shots back.
Gonna bump it into the slope. Hope that it kicks a little left. Yeah, he steered it clear of those 2 sprinklers. Couldn't really take that risk of landing on one of those, but that's for birdie. He's 3 back right now. 15.
And Jordan Spieth for birdie. Look where he's aimed. He's playing 20 feet of break up the slope. Now down, gravity's doing the rest. That's a great effort from a very difficult position there. So he'll have that left for par. We'll go back to 17.
James Hahn. Philobicus maximus.
I just got to think that hole out by Koepka just rattled him a bit.
It'll do that.
Yeah, it will. After Hahn hit that second shot in the water at 15, I'm telling you, Koepka saw blood in the water. And, boy.
He capitalized.
What a shot he hit there. 17. You know, the thing, too, is that tee shot at 17 was never going in the water, was it, David?
No, that's for sure.
Never going in that water, and gave himself a chance. And, boy, difficult shot. Hit a pearl.
Ricky Elliott there on the bag. Has been with Brooks now for a few years.
Well, now it's 100 and some odd yards over to that 18th tee. He's got a pretty treacherous tee shot waiting on him.
Spieth for par here at 15. Okay, just lips it in the left side. That was a moment ago. Now we're live, and Scheffler for birdie and Bones. I would think that this has got to go in if he wants to have a chance at winning this event.
I'm completely with you, Justin. I think that's why he's had Scotty McGinnis on all fours behind him. He knows the importance. Again, they heard the roar coming from 17 green. He's got to make something happen. And, you know, given the fact that his chip was just so basic in front of the green, you know, he doesn't want to deal with that kind of disgust that he would have should he miss this walking to the next tee.
Okay, nice save. Good birdie, gets him to 17 under and 2 back. Xander Schauffele is in the same situation. 16 under par. He's got to make this to have a chance. We'll have gotten a good read from Scotty Scheffler's. Not much to it, just straight up the hill. Okay, so a good 4. Maybe a slight opportunity missed there. Brooks Koepka with an amazing eagle pitch in at the 17th. Has the tee shot at 18 coming up.
Now to finish up at the 18th, Matthew Neesmith. And this is for par. And he'll get it. Nice scrambling save. You can see his reaction. And the motivation is there to finish with a par at the last. He had lost a shot on the previous hole. The last thing he wanted to do was come in bogey. So he finishes up. And there's Brooks Koepka. What is running through his mind as he ran up the leaderboard in this final round. He was 1 over after a bogey at 2, then eagled the 3rd. He went from 1 over to 1 under, and then just ran off a string of 9 straight pars. He was extremely quiet, not a lot going on. 14 under and just holding right there. And then he took off like a jet. 3 birdies in a row, then the eagle at 17 to lift him to 19 under. And so now Hahn is at 17 for par. And Koepka's just been rolling along quietly, watching Hahn move up the leaderboard. And then Brooks just finally said, let me get in this and see if I can get to the top. So this par putt is needed to hold at 17 under. We'll see whether he can hang on to this shot. For par at 17, James Hahn had a share of the lead before Koepka broke that tie with the hole-out eagle. Now this to avoid dropping 1 further back. and he is going to bogey. So Hahn, things unraveling at the 17th, and that will cost him a shot. So he comes through with a lost shot at 15 when he played aggressive, and now will lose another at the 17th. So the back nine, after such a promising front side 30, he is now 3 over on the inward half and slipping further down the leaderboard.
Shauffele coming off a big-time birdie at the previous hole, just 2 back as he steps into the stadium.
167, wedge in hand, some helping wind. Very accessible flag. This is pulled.
It's the same shot he hit on Friday and made double bogey here.
That is just, I think that's just probably just not being on this kind of stage that many times in his career, you would have to think.
He was coming off 2 birdies in the last 3 holes. Shauffele was on a roll. Stricker at 17.
Cleans that up, no problem. And he goes to 17 under par.
Look at that run by the captain.
May have to pick himself.
He's got 6 possibilities. Okay, back at 16. Shauffele taking a deep breath. 3 holes left. I don't know if he knows if he trails by 2. Probably heard the huge roar.
This is a great opportunity for him to show us what he's made of right here. Just right of it, drawing, looking good.
He was posing bones for good reason. And Shauffele is hole high with a chance for 2 in a row.
Putting up the hill.
He's made of snakes and snails and puppy dog tails, that guy.
Here's Koepka on the tee of this tricky tee shot. 435-yard par 4. Water on the left. Bunkers also crowd in on that fairway as well.
This is the king of the beast, the top carnivore, this guy right here. He can carry the water on the left-hand side. Not the bunkers.
This drifting down the right-hand side of the fairway should be fine.
Oh, what a shot.
He piped it.
Carlos Ortiz now can start to clean out his locker.
And everybody's got their own stories, and so does Koepka in his comeback from injury. And now Spieth over at the 16th. 3 behind. And Spieth drops it in there right behind Shauffele. So Shauffele will have a good look at a schooling birdie putt by Jordan before he strokes it. You know, back at 17.
K.H. Lee with a very narrow angle here. And it's pretty good. Very fast around hole there. That's not bad at all.
You know, you forget, David, that a lot of these guys are still trying to, you know, well, they're still driving around in really crummy cars and hubcaps, and they're still looking to make the money. So there's a lot going on out here today.
And while they were hitting, this was Stricker's tee shot at the 18th. He has made 4 birdies in the last 5 holes to give himself a chance. And Stricker will be a ways behind Koepka, but he has split the fairway. Well, we've heard a lot of pretty good roars in this first significant crowd back to PGA Tour golf, but the loudest so far comes on the final round, almost 100 feet away, where you have to hit almost a perfect shot to have a chance. And it was that and then some for the eagle that lands for Koepka. 5 under. On the way home, there is his girlfriend, Jenna Sims, watching. I'm screaming, are you kidding, with that chip in. Well, her man has a 2-shot lead and an excellent chance to maybe get it to 20 under. 4-time major champion, loves the heat of the moment, faced with a difficult pitch in, rises to the occasion once again.
So Koepka is out in front. We'll see what Steve Stricker has for us coming up as those two have moved on to the final hole along with James Hahn, Keegan Bradley, Just in front. And this is for par. Well, actually, that was a birdie try. And so Bradley cannot believe it. After such a beautiful shot into this green from 123 out, he thought he had a certain birdie at the end. So that was a 2-putt par for Keegan, and finishing 1 over on the day, a 72. Now this downhill putt. And that hand turned over. And Palmer for birdie. He will finish up at the 9th. And Palmer will get to 8 under. He had 4 birdies coming in against 1 bogey. That was after starting 2 over through his first 4 holes. So he gets to put another circle on the card before he's done. 19 under for Koepka. Ortiz now joins second. There's a 5-way tie there. 3 players on the first page are in the clubhouse. That includes Carlos Ortiz. He was an interested party all the way up until Koepka holed out at 17 and then safely found the fairway at 18. So Ortiz, you would have to assume now that it's not in the cards for him, but we'll see how these players play their way in to finish. Back to 9 for the groups finishing on the front side. Stewart. And Brian from 157 yards. 1 birdie on his card on this inward half. He had a couple of bogeys and an eagle on the back 9, so he turned at level. This slips off the front of that green, and now we'll have the short side of the green to work with, so he's going to have to just try and chip it up there. Let's take a look at 17 and how things went this week. 8 eagles, including Brooks Koepka. 157 birdies compared to 56 bogeys or worse. In the top 5 in scoring.
Back at the 16th, Shauffele for par. He got down in that left side of the green, so scrambling to stay at 17 under. Almost a must make if he's going to have any hopes. So Shauffele drops one just after it looked like he might be making a nice move here with those 2 birdies, but picks up his 2nd bogey in the last 5 holes. So Shauffele drops back to 3 back. He does have the short par 4 17th coming up, but might be too much damage made already for Shauffele to win for the first time.
And while we were away, Justin Thomas had this for eagle over at 17. That'll work. He's had an interesting couple of weeks. It's Justin Thomas.
And a heartache of a night after losing his grandfather. We talked about it earlier, David. He just has not been the same all day. All right, back here at 18, Steve Stricker, 2 back. The guy he's playing with, Koepka, who looks like he's a football field up ahead of him.
This is just a smooth pitching wedge for Strick. He pulled this just a little bit, but not bad.
Yeah, just a little, Noda. That'll be a good crack for Stricker to get in at 18 under and then hope that Koepka has some sort of mishap.
That's some good ball striking under pressure. Koepka hit every green. Huge opportunity here now for Jordan.
Big putt. And Shauffele moved right in there behind him to get a good look at that. It looked like it did move a little bit to the left at the end. This is KH Lee at 17.
This for birdie. Okay. So he's just 1 back.
Koepka just manhandled his drive here at 18. 359 yards, Noda.
Could not be in a better spot. 97. Just a nice controlled 60.
That's his longest of the week. He turns in at the final hole.
He didn't catch that very good at all.
Boy, it just leaves the door creaked open if he doesn't hold that. Beautiful tee shot, average wedge.
back at 16. Shauffele for birdie to get within one. He knows what it does, and he just drills it in the back. So Shauffele with back-to-back birdies. And a short par 4 17th coming up. Looking for his first win in 2 years after 7 runner-ups. The exact position that he is in now as Koepka. Is he walking up as another winner at this Waste Management Phoenix Open, where he began his winning ways on his PGA Tour career, which now boasts 7 wins. This guy didn't play for the first 2 months of this season, including the U.S. Open at Winged Foot, as he went through hip and knee injuries last year. He is healthy now and poised to break through in a big-time way back at 17.
Xander Schauffele about to pull the trigger on a little fairway wood here. Oh, you do not need to go left. It flew in the water. That was a stagnant one right there, just when he needed it least.
With everything we've described, David, how crushing that is. Wow. Okay, so with Shauffele put into the water, it puts even more of the focus, John Wood, on K.H. Lee, one back.
Dan, so much craziness going on today, and he has shown some true mettle. Just a mistake on 11 is the only bogey he's made all day, and really hasn't been in a lot of trouble. And if he can get this ball in the fairway and get a swing at a wedge, I love his chances of making another birdie.
Well, Woody, I wonder if he has the power to carry the bunker or to carry the water on line with the bunker.
He doesn't. He's got to go. He's got to thread it down the middle, but he's been driving it great. And this is headed way right.
Well, safety first.
Yep, that's the bail zone. Right of the bunkers. Popular spot up there on the grass. Looks like it's sitting up okay. Birdie attempt on the way for Koepka. Mentioned the battle with injuries. He also had a amicable parting with his instructor, Claude Harmon III. He was asked about it again this week. He says, we're good. Everything's fine. I'm not really working with anybody right now. But again, he missed 3 straight cuts coming into this event for the first time in his PGA Tour career.
Yeah, Ricky Elliott told me this morning he's hitting it well. Zinger, he's not hurt. He's just got to knock off some rust. He did that today. What a round of golf.
So the first PGA Tour event with some significant applause and atmosphere. It would be no surprise that Koepka ushers that era in here with his 8th PGA Tour win. But still some players to dodge as we head back to 17.
And just a moment ago, Jordan Spieth with his tee shot. Well, that's a good shape. Easy, easy, easy. Really? Really? Oh, it took long enough to do it. That is the problem. Just anything left of center here.
It's in the middle of the green.
Jordan is not going to believe that. There's the tail end of it. It just took forever to get across that green. Just had enough to make it into the water.
You said it, David. You said something crazy. Well, there's been a few crazy things that have happened at this 17th, and that's the latest.
Agony. It was taking so long to do it, and it was kind of inevitable.
You know, David, it's not the kind of tee shot that you just want to bail on. You want to hit a good shot there at 17. It just brought the water into play.
James Hahn trying to finish on a positive note on a rough stretch on this back 9. Nearly made birdie there, but 4 bogeys on this back 9 after he seized the lead with 6 birdies in the first 10 holes to get to 19 under. He plummeted. Still ends up with a 2 under round of 69. Again, he led by 3 earlier in this tournament. Back at 17.
Let's see what Scotty Scheffler did here. This was just a moment ago.
The thing is, David, you can't bail too far right or you have no real up and in. It's too short-sighted.
Now that is down around where Brooks found himself. He had no problem with it, but Scotty Scheffler there, 3 back, needs to do something.
Stricker hit all 18 greens today. Total rounds played in his career more than 1,700. He's only done it 2 previous times. Now make it 3. So that's the kind of week it's been for 53-year-old Steve Stricker, who settles for par at the last but finishes in a flurry. Said he probably wasn't going to play this much on the PGA Tour this year, but because he's the Ryder Cup captain, he wants to get a look and stay in tune with what's happening out here on the big tour, as he does go back and forth to the PGA Tour champions. Steve and his wife Nikki and their 2 daughters headed back to the frigid cold of Wisconsin now, after spending a long time in Florida and playing this event here in Arizona. Today's coverage is brought to you by Titleist, the #1 ball in golf, and by Waste Management, who is always working for a sustainable tomorrow. Well, is it going to be Brooks Koepka, or can K.H. Lee birdie the 18th and catch him? We'll see as we go back at 17 for Shauffele.
Yeah, and Bones is down there. What's he got?
Well, he's got a pitch out of a pretty decent line, the left rough, plenty of green to work with, but he's got that voice inside his head basically telling him, get this up and down or your tournament is likely over in terms of winning. So a huge upcoming 3rd shot for Xander.
And a lot of green to work with here. You can see he's covering it there up to this little plateau in the kind of middle back right of this green. You can see that flag barely hanging onto the right edge of the green. It's almost on the next tee.
He's likely going to pitch something into the heart of it with a club not too much loft, probably a 52, maybe even a 56 back in your stance. But it's all about judging the trajectory in your first bounce and having it release up that hill that David just mentioned to the back right hole location.
Very hard to get this to the hole. Anything that gets there risks just sliding off the back edge. And he has got to get this up and down and then hope for one more at the last.
The trick to these shots is getting it to come out of there with the kind of spin you expect. If it spins more than you want or less than, you won't get the distance right. He struggled with his touch today.
They're yelling at it to go, and the struggle with the touch continues, Paul. That's not a good shot at all, given the circumstances.
Boy, 17 just drives a nail through Xander Schauffele's heart.
Yep, and with that shot that comes up short, that puts its straight and center on K.H. Lee.
No problem. That's fine. It's about a 115 with that. Okay.
His caddy,
yeah, that was the
very
voice
involved with him. Brett Waldman would. Yep.
Just great advice, and there is no reason to play safe here. He knows his position. Try and stuff this thing. Even if you come up a hair short, it's a very simple chip. If you hit it all the way to the hole, it will probably carry through. This is a gap wedge heading left.
Needs a birdie. They're asking it
That's
to get
the problem.
down.
If you land on the green, it just goes.
So Koepka will have to dodge that. Not likely for K.H. Lee. While he was hitting, this was happening, David, back at 17.
Well, there's always something happening at 17. He picked that one nice and clean. Just a little too much effort. Now Jordan with his 3rd shot. It's beautiful. Beautiful, but it'll be a par at the very, very birdieable 17th.
Well, Rory McIlroy, who shot 64 here earlier today, teams up with Peacock to bring you the all-new Golf Pass channel. Watch premier instruction and entertainment from the golf membership program, plus daily news from Golf Channel. You can sign up at peacocktv.com and start watching Monday. There's the Peacock logo on the bag of Rory, who, along with Carlos Ortiz, have shot the rounds of the day. Koepka just in with a 65. As you look at Shauffele, 4 par over at 17, and it's hard to imagine what's going through his mind, David. There's so much made, even before he teed it up here this week.
Yeah.
All these runner-ups, all these close calls. Looks like it's going to continue.
Well, he knows, Bones, that Short isn't going to get it done here. He's got to take a run at this one.
Without doubt, up the hill, moving from his right to left.
Yeah, good putt. Good putt, but maybe a little too late. Here, that tee shot here in 17 is just so dangerous.
You know, David, he set himself up today to shoot a better score than this. He hit some really poor wedges early in this round and got over par early, and it's been a struggle ever since. His driver has been phenomenal, but boy, Koepka really truly is the top dog that was on that leaderboard. We didn't pay him much attention, but boy, 65 just lapped the field.
And as you guys have mentioned all week, it's basically like playing in a dome out here. A very gettable golf course if you put the ball in play. So for Xander to be over par through 17, certainly incredibly disappointing.
Yeah, just the wedges really got him early, Bones.
Yeah, the two 54-hole co-leaders who had 3-shot leads, both with a water at 17, to take him out of it.
Scheffler will stay in a tie for 3rd place. 4-way tie.
This is the 3rd for Justin Thomas. Scrambling home here. Coming off that eagle at 17, which, by the way, was the 50th eagle this year, which ties the most in a week here since 1987. There were 47 eagles last year. JT had the 50th there. Now K.H. Lee, and if this doesn't go in, it would take a miracle for Brooks Koepka not to put away the win.
Oh, having bailed out to the right, you know, you got to hit that wedge from the tall grass. It makes it pretty hard to judge, and as a result of that poor tee shot, he's looking at a good 40 or so feet here.
K.H. Lee was a shot put athlete before he took up golf seriously at the age of 13. He was, in his words, overweight teenager. He weighed 212 pounds as a 16-year-old. He just hired a trainer a couple of weeks ago, he said, after he was impressed by Brooks Koepka's physique. And how crazy is it that this is the exact guy he is trying to tie here? He's an interesting guy. He said if he wasn't a professional golfer, he would have loved to have been a singer. He took lessons in South Korea to do that. Loves karaoke. Great personality. Has an apartment in Florida with his wife, where they quarantined in Orlando during the tour break. Never won out here. This to keep his hopes alive for birdie to tie Koepka.
And Danny, on a day of the improbable, I mean, why not? 33 feet.
Looks pretty good. Oh, that close to tying Koepka. But that looks like it's going to wrap it up for Brooks unless there's again a miracle. Schauffele plays the 18th. It's going to have to hold it out for eagle to tie Brooks. But it ends up being K.H. Lee, the closest to Koepka. He's in with a 68. He had the good finish yesterday as well to put himself in good position today. There's how this one finished up, just a little bit off to the left. 263rd ranked player in the world. A lot of other South Korean men that are ranked a lot higher than KH Lee, but he gave it a go this week.
He's going to move way up after this tournament.
Spieth asking for this one to go hard. He found the water at 17, way right at 18, but you can play it from there.
Yes, you can. Wishes he'd have hit that drive at 15.
He is just still steaming from 17.
And Zinger, I realize there's a lot of Jordan Spieth fans out there that were living and dying with him today and certainly wanted him to win, but the bottom line, in my opinion, is he's going to leave here with a ton of positives from this week. This is a big stepping stone for him in terms of turning things around.
100%. His self-belief is going to skyrocket. Now it's all about just gaining some confidence.
Beautiful tee shot here from Scotty. Actually overcutting just a little bit, looking for a good first bounce, and gets it.
Up on the green, Thomas for par. And again, part of a family with all that PGA professional lineage and losing your grandfather overnight. You know, we saw Mike Thomas, his dad, today, usually so, you know, upbeat. And when we didn't know the news and we saw him, it now kind of explains things. Very subdued. Justin Thomas today. 18 tee, we got Shauffele.
Drive it in the fairway and channel your inner Aoki.
There you go. Needs a hole out.
Up the right side. Totally at the mercy of the first bounce. Oh, flies through.
Yeah, it's sitting up okay. He's got to look at it. So that will be the last gasp for anyone to catch Brooks Koepka. There was a lot of comeback stories this week. A lot of guys trying to get back in the winner's circle, but it looks like Brooks has muscled his way back to the top.
Brooks Koepka moving up this leaderboard on the back nine. He started early after a bogey at 2 with an eagle putt at 3. That helped him turn the card around quickly. 1 over to 1 under. 15 under as we pick him up at 14. Koepka looking for 500 FedEx Cup points and another win on the PGA Tour. He was just aggressive coming in. Birdie at 13 at the par 5, then the birdie at 14. He'd add another at 15. This was his best, though, at 17. And it sounded like there were 100,000 fans in attendance at TPC Scottsdale. As he holds the eagle shot, he gains 2 on the field, jumps to 19 under, breaking the tie at the top. And we'll look and see his movement in the standings. 61 spot improvement as he can jump to 12th. 61 spots. He'll move up. And Koepka, who has been very good here in the desert, a player that certainly knows how to attack, and he can just feel it and sense the moment. Winning here in 2015.
This was just a moment ago. Very tough day for the Thomas family. Justin's father, Mike, greeting him as he always does at the end of a golf tournament, but very, very different. One of Mike's favorite memories was winning the Kentucky PGA Father-Son Championship with his father, Paul, back in 2001. Long time, lifelong PGA professional, passing away overnight at the age of 89. Meantime, Koepka is just one swing of the club from Shauffele from putting away PGA Tour win number 8. As Bones mentioned, so many folks pulling for Jordan Spieth, but Spieth was, you know, very reserved, very measured in his interview yesterday. He said, you know what, even if I, you know, don't win, I don't pull this off, we're going to take away a lot of positives. He's still, you know, looking at club positions and swing positions out there. You can see him on the course frustrated. He's not been able to generate the exact kind of swing he wants to make when the heat is on, and it was on today.
Yeah, the heat was on. You know, it was hard watching Jordan kind of transform from the artist to the engineer, you know, almost Vincent van Gogh to paint by numbers. And he's slowly but surely getting out of that.
I mean, obviously just left of it, but not much.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. I got a little bit of help off the left.
Guys, this is not a good lie.
1626.
Yep, exactly.
126 total, as you just heard him say to Mike. And you know, I think if he flies this all the way to the green, it could take off. He could have 40 or 50 feet. So I wouldn't be surprised to try and see him bump something here, because 2 or 3 yards short of the green wouldn't be the worst place.
It's one line.
A little sawed-off finish.
Bumps it.
Oh,
shot.
A little bit of artistry there.
Oh man, that is really, really good there.
Yeah, you're not thinking technique when you're on the side of a hill in the deep rough. Good shot.
Talked about how Brooks Koepka has missed 3 cuts in a row. Spieth said he was really low last week, or he missed the cut at Torrey Pines, but he bounced back this week. Here's Scheffler.
White place, thank you.
Yeah, it was like a vitamin B shot for Jordan Spieth to come in here and play like that. It's going to be great energy for him in the weeks to come.
114 for Scotty. Still a lot of people out here at the moment, considering there's other sporting events today.
Really, Bones?
So I read.
I'm from the area, the Tampa Bay area. I feel like a Patriots fan now. What they've been going through all the years. We got the Bucks in the Super Bowl today, and Brady and Gronk and all that. So.
Okay, so Koepka seems nonplussed by it all, but that's kind of how he operates, right? All right. K.H. Lee in 1 back, and now Shauffele, the last guy with a chance, has to hold it to get to 19 under.
103.
Drop one.
Oh man, he gave it a shot indeed. But Brooks Koepka has one where it all started back in 2015. He wins the Waste Management Phoenix Open for the 2nd time.
Incredible comeback. It took a stumble from the guys at the top, but when it came down to hitting the clutch shots, it was all Brooks Koepka today. And this was nearly as clutch as it gets. Took dead aim. He had to hold it. And Xander likely tapped that in, and it's going to be a tough pill to swallow looking back if he loses by just 1.
Stinging close call again for Shauffele, but what a win it is for Koepka.
Xander Schauffele cleaning things up here at the 18th. Beautiful shot into this green. Made it look relatively easy, too. And it happens where you just hit a couple of stumbling blocks and can't quite fix the problem area at that moment in time where you need to be at your best. He bogeyed 14. He came back with birdies at 15 and 16, and you think you've turned another corner, but then he lost the shot at 17. And, well, he's got a chance to bounce back with a birdie here, but it won't be enough. It'll get him to 18 under. And Brooks Koepka now has the victory in hand. So Schauffele looking to wrap things up. Jordan Spieth and Scotty Scheffler as well. Spieth had a good shot in. Scheffler's right there at the bottom of the green. And so he's looking at a putt coming up the slope 21 feet. And Scheffler, he also has to feel like he's getting close to breaking through. There are players out there in Schauffele and Spieth that are trying to come back to the winner's circle after some absence. And for Scheffler, he's just trying to get there for the first time. Up the slope. Well, he heard a bit of noise from the crowd. And that is something we haven't had to worry about too much of late. But as the fans are back in, he followed these last groups and tried to create some energy. You have to deal with some of the negatives as well. 21-foot putt. Scotty Scheffler looking to see if he can end the afternoon and the week with a birdie. At 18, he's going to miss the cup to the left. And He will finish up with a par, so Shauffele will be in at 16 under par, and that'll be his day and week. And we'll now have 500 FedEx Cup points coming to Koepka, as he is a winner that really came not out of nowhere, but certainly came out of that pack as a big surprise with his performance on the back nine.
But in the end, it's Brooks Koepka who comes from 5 back. There's been only 2 other bigger comebacks in this Waste Management Phoenix Open. At TPC Scottsdale, Kyle Stanley 8 back 2012. Sandy Lyle in '88 came from 7 back, and then Brooks Koepka with a 5-shot comeback today. Now Jordan Spieth.
This man has not made a single putt all day of any significance.
Made 10 birdies yesterday, Bones. Just 1 today. Make it 2.
Great ovation from the local crowd here.
You mentioned how good this week has been for Spieth, and I'll say how good it has been for golf to see this guy back on the trail. Again, you gotta finish it off, but he was so impressive, and we are genuinely seeing signs of Jordan Spieth returning to form. It's just going to take more reps, more time in the heat to get it done.
And Dan, you could hear the back and forth between he and his caddy out there as they're battling away, talking about the steps they're taking and the momentum that he's feeling in terms of turning the ship around. And you know, look at him over there talking right now. You can tell this week has meant an incredible amount to them.
And then there's Shauffele, right? If he makes this, I guess it would be appropriate. It would be his 8th runner-up finish since his last win in 2019. Hard to believe he hasn't broken through. Just a phenomenal player. But a closing birdie for Shauffele, who comes up short again, but he's right there.
Yeah, and he's going to lament a few shots, I'm sure, tonight. He lays down, puts his head on the pillow.
And the water ball at 17, zing, the bogey at 14, but he had 3 birdies all sandwiched in there. He didn't make a par on the final 5 holes. There's Scheffler tapping in for his par around a 70 for Scotty. Big spot for him. Final group. Had a good look at his first win. But the PGA Tour Rookie of the Year will have to wait for another opportunity as well. And we are in the books at the Waste Management Phoenix Open. And Brooks Koepka made 2 eagles today on his way to a final round 65 for a winning score of 265, 19 under at TPC Scottsdale. So Brooks Koepka wins it. Xander Schauffele in that all too familiar position, tied with K.H. Lee, who had himself quite a week. Jordan Spieth tied for 4th with Ortiz. And Stricker, who at the age of 53 had himself one whale of a week. Xander Schauffele, even though he hasn't won, moves all the way up to the top spot over Dustin Johnson, who won in Saudi Arabia. Brooks Koepka moves into the 12th position with a win today. Steve Sands?
Dan, thank you very much. With the winner, Brooks Koepka, you were 5 shots back entering this final round. What does it say about your patience that you were able to overcome these first 3 days and put your foot on the gas this last 18 holes to get the win?
Yeah, I felt like I've been playing really well. I love the way I've been playing, even though I was missing cuts. It just came down to scoring. Felt like, you know, I was playing well all week and was just knocking on the door. And then today just stayed patient. I feel like I always do a pretty good job of that, just kind of hanging around, waiting until it's my turn on Sunday, and things happen to go my way.
Well, you had to wait to the 71st hole. Take a look at the screen for the moment of the tournament. What were you thinking as you were standing over this golf ball?
I'll tell you, I wasn't a big fan of those sprinkler heads right where they were positioned, but avoided those nicely. And I'll tell you what, I've worked hard with Pete Cowan over the last few years, and just having that, being able to chip it like that, and it's...
You did not play the first 2 months of this PGA Tour season because you were trying to rehab your hip and your knee. How difficult was the process for you to get back to this point in the winner's circle?
It's been very humbling. I mean, I've had some real dark moments. I was in some dark places mentally. didn't know if I was ever going to be the same again. No matter, my knee just didn't feel the same as my right one, and I was in some dark places, I'm not going to lie, but I just look at all that hard work I've done with Derek and the work I've done with Butch, Pete, everybody, and it's just, I'm very proud of myself and proud of those guys for everything they've done, and I can't say enough about them.
Yeah, you put on quite a show. It was a lot of fun to watch. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, a little bit of reveal there from Brooks Koepka in terms of what was going through his mind and body when he was trying to build his game back up, and the mental wear and tear along with the physical wear and tear, it certainly had an effect. But he's on top of our leaderboard as he wins the Waste Management Phoenix Open. 19 under the winning score, a pair of players tied at 18 under. K.H. Lee has to feel very positive about his finish. His best on tour, a T2 with Shauffele. And when we arrive in the desert, you never know what's going to happen. A lot of players got in position to chase the win. Jordan Spieth and Shauffele started the day with the lead, but they quickly put themselves in a defensive position as others were charging. James Hahn was the first to do it as he climbed the leaderboard with a 5-under start. And then Brooks Koepka was also eyeing Shauffele and Spieth and ready to take them to the limit. You can log on to PGATour.com, listen exclusively to the press conference with Brooks Koepka after his win here at TPC Scottsdale. This concludes the PGA Tour's final round coverage of the Waste Management Phoenix Open from TPC Scottsdale in Scottsdale, Arizona.